everybody. It's me, Sweet Melody Speaks, and Classic Ruby, and we are live in Upfront Media. Hi, Ruby.
Hey girl. Hey y'all, what's up? How you doing? I think this is gonna be a good show. I'm feeling good today. How you feeling?
Oh my God, I'm feeling great. Another beautiful day in Jersey. Once again, I'm sitting in my car, breathing in the fresh air. You know.
Mm. Girl, you in this
Yeah.
outside thing. I can kind of see outside through the slivers in my blinds. That
Oh my
that's that's like
God.
outside-ish, right? No? You don't agree?
Outside-ish, but it's a little better to just be out here in nature, hearing the birds chirp, and I'm watching the sun slowly set. It's it's amazing being out here. Maybe you should try it.
I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Okay, while I work on that, y'all, here's our optical illusion while we, wait for y'all to file on in. We don't want y'all to miss the good stuff. So, we think you should learn something about yourself while we're shooting the shoot and all that and, greeting everybody. So I want
Right.
y'all to take a look at this picture, okay? And what you want to do, automatic reaction. What is the first thing you see? When you look at this picture, what
Mm,
is the first thing you see? And I'm going to tell you what it says about you. That's right.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
I see something. I'm not gonna say what it is,
Don't say,
but I
yeah, don't
see
give your answer yet,
something.
girl. Don't
And you
give your
know what?
answer yet.
When
Mm-hmm.
I look even further, I see something else.
Ooh, okay, okay. I'm
Hmm.
excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited to
me
see what it is
too.
that you see. I saw a few things, but I know
Right.
what my very first reaction was. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
go with the very first thing I noticed before anything. It was like brief. It was a brief thing, and then I noticed something else second right away. But I'll go with the
Right.
first thing. I'll tell y'all
Right.
what we have to say about you. What do you notice about this picture? But anyway, while we're letting people take a look at the photo, let's say what's up to the good people who are coming in. I saw Gigi come in and Chris
Hi,
G and Gigi
Gigi.
and
What's going
Grady.
on?
There's another G.
Who I see? I see. Oh, I see Aaron B, Kevin Murray, your boy Don Teasy one.
A yes, Jordan. Just being Jazzy's
Ooh.
podcast. Okay, clips and crafty
Hey.
ideas. Uh,
Okay. Omar Ali. Ali. I'm sorry, Ali. Had to get it right.
okay.
Hey,
V Dub Boogie. You know what that reminds me of? Probably because we just listened to Missy Elliott, but like up jumps the boogie. I
oh,
don't know
the
why. It's
boogie
just
jumped me. I
yeah.
with what's his name? The producer, Timberland. My
Yes.
sister used to love some Timberland. Oh my God! All she played with me growing up, all she played was Missy. What's her name? Aaliyah. She loved those people. Yes, girl.
Mm-hmm. Girl,
Yeah.
I was gonna be Aaliyah, or at least I was gonna be like her protege or whatever. And like seriously, her dying literally is the reason why I gave up on my music career because I was just so depressed and sad, and it's
Wasn't you
ruined
a
all my
baby when
dreams.
Aaliyah died?
Mm-hmm.
You was young, yeah, because my sister, I think, was a teenager, and she's
Yep.
40 something. She was like in high school.
Yeah. I
And I
was like,
know I was real little too when
mhm.
Aaliyah died.
I was like 17, 16, and I remember I was actually in North Carolina that summer, and
Mhm.
like literally before I had woken up, my family was calling my cousins and stuff in North Carolina to tell them like, okay, y'all gotta not play the radio or the TV around her. Someone needs to sit her down and talk to her. But what happened? Because they knew I wasn't gonna react.
Yeah. So you was like an Aaliyah fan, for real, for real.
Yes, yes, I was a legit fangirl. It's the only person I've ever been a
Mhm.
fangirl for. I was a legit fangirl. Aaliyah was my idol. And the crazy thing is, once I found the magic of weave, everyone thought I was Aaliyah or that I looked so similar to her. But from far away, people thought I
Mhm.
was Aaliyah. Like they would freak out in malls and stuff. Be like, ah, it's Aaliyah, it's Aaliyah. And get closer and be like,
Aw. Oh, that's not her. It's just
yeah,
a young girl that looks like her. But yeah, rest in peace,
exactly.
Aaliyah. We love you,
Right? We
Aaliyah.
we do. Omar Ali, Rayhanma, keeping up with Queen Tulsa. Ooh, there's Game Changer.
Game
GC,
changer,
what's up?
Auntie.
Y'all are awesome. Okay, so for those of you who are just coming in now, what do you see in the photo? I'm going to tell y'all what it tells you about yourself, and then we are going to delve into these very interesting topics today.
Ooh, we
Okay,
got a good show for y'all. Wait till y'all
right
hear this.
now, first off, Melody, what did you see?
I saw a man's face at first glance. That's the first thing I saw. How about you?
Yes, girl, yes. That's exactly what I saw at
Oh,
first glance. Isn't
wow.
that crazy?
We never see the same thing. This is
No.
crazy.
Okay, so let's see what it says about us. I'm going to read this one first. Okay, so if you saw the face of
Okay.
the old man, okay, if y'all missed the old man for some reason, okay, I'll show you. So here's eye number one, eye number two. Here's the nose, the butt right here's the nose,
Mhm,
the mustache, right? So you got, and then you got
mhm,
the head, and you got the beard, okay, and the lips. So that's the old man. Now, if you saw the face of the old man, right? That's 35% of the population will actually see the face of the older gentleman first.
mhm.
And what it means is that what prevails in you is both intelligence and intuition.
Oh, wow. Look at
Yeah,
that. We're smart.
that's what I'm saying, girl, right? Now, both of these qualities are ideal to get you out of a problem and always make the right decision. So use them to always be sure of your future. Okay, it also means that you never miss anything and you look down to the smallest details. So lying or cheating you is virtually an impossible task. Boy, Mr. Ruby knows that much.
Mhm.
Interesting, right? That is very
Mhm.
interesting. I like that. Okay, so let's see what else we got over here. Now, what if you saw, for example, a swan? Now, if you saw the swan, here's the swan right here. Okay,
I saw
20
him too.
You saw the swan? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 25% of the population would have seen the swan first. Okay. If you saw the
Mhm.
swan first, it means that you are a person with incredible inner beauty and that you always sacrifice for others and put others' desires before your own. Hence, you have a very high esteem. On the other hand, you
Mm.
always work very hard to make your dreams come true. Although at first you think that there are no profits, the truth is that very soon you will realize that the good news will come to your life. Okay, now, this is the second thing I saw the couple. Okay, you missed it. The
Yeah.
guy right here and the naked
The
woman. I
woman
know a lot
is
of y'all said
still
naked woman
different.
down there, right?
Naked. They ain't
Naked.
say naked. They said naked. Yes, they
Naked.
did, girl. Mhm.
Ruby interpreted it as naked. Okay.
Naked. Fucking naked.
Now, 40% of people have claimed to see both a young man and a girl having a splendid day. Okay.
Mhm.
So now, if you saw this, the quality that dominates in your nature is romanticism. Apart from
Oh.
that, you possess remarkable qualities to socialize with others. And you are always surrounded by people who love you, and you will have no problem finding that special human being that will compliment you during your life. Interesting, right? Being with you is the most pleasant thing that they can experience. Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you imagine?
Okay.
The most pleasant thing they can experience is being around you. Damn. Okay.
Hmm.
But
Interesting. And you a pervert if you saw that naked woman first. Let's not
right.
forget that.
I think that is amazing. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Now, anybody else? I don't know. Is there something else someone else saw? Those are the major ones. There's a couple other things you could have seen. You know what? You can email me, Ruby at classicruby.com, if you want to know the minor ones. I think we probably covered most of the bases over there. So,
Yeah, definitely. I think we did. So are
mhm.
you ready to get into this awesome show we have for them today?
I am totally ready, girl. I am totally
Mm,
ready. We're going to be
let's
doing the call-in thing again, which I'm excited about. We're going to get it right this time. It's going to be great.
yes, definitely. Oh yes. Okay,
All
so
right.
you ready to take it away?
I absolutely am. Let us get our branding on point. Now,
Hi,
y'all.
friends.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay. So, first up on the docket, okay, is love and relationships. Now, while I am pulling this up for y'all, Melody is going to drop y'all a link for you to call in. We will be having a panel, at the end after our main event topic is announced, okay? But for now, if y'all have something you want to say about any one of the other subjects we cover right now, before we get to the main event, y'all are free to call in one at a time and speak your piece. I know some of the women might like that because then, they won't get over talked or whatnot. I don't know.
But the men might like at the end, we will be having an open panel you guys love so much. So make
Mm-hmm.
sure you guys come up for that. Now, when we drop you guys down, you have two choices. You can either stay backstage and wait for the open panel, or you can leave and go back to the audience. It's your choice. But I much rather you stay so we can have a good time.
Mm,
The more people, the better.
exactly, exactly. All right, y'all. So first up, dating and relationship, loves and relationships. Today we are gonna actually talk about this technically in the viral story too, but it's okay. We're gonna talk about Lori Harvey. We're gonna talk about Lori Harvey's comments. Okay. Now, why do I want to talk about this today? Okay, first we're gonna watch the video because I think that she said something that I wouldn't have thought was that controversial, but apparently was very, very controversial, y'all. It was the most controversial thing I think they think she had ever seen. I don't know. Y'all listen to this. Y'all let me know what you think.
Okay, so I just left my Pilates class and I see the girls are signing up for Pilates now. Love that for you guys. But everybody's been asking like what it is I specifically did to get my body to this point. So when Mike and I got together, I gained like 15 pounds of relationship weight and it was horrible. None of my clothes fit. It was just not.
Now, that's definition one. We're going to talk about that in a second. Relationship weight. Is there such a thing as relationship weight? Like how they say there's the freshman 15, right? Is there this freshman 15 when it comes to falling in love? And in the first, you find the right person, you're ready to settle down, and now you balloon up. You gain a bunch of weight. Now your clothes fit. You got fat. You used to be a lot cuter, but now you're in a relationship. So you got relationship insulation. I don't know. That's what happened to Lori Harvey. She's calling it relationship weight. That is the first thing I know a lot of people were arguing against on the men's side. But let's listen to what else she says.
Not okay. So I've been consistently doing Pilates for like the last year. I've done it for a few years, but I've been really consistent the last year. And when I was trying to drop weight, I was working out like 5, 6 times a week. And I would even do like for the first month and a half, I think I did 2 a days. So what I would do was I was in a calorie deficit. I think I maybe was consuming like 1,200 calories in a day max. And I wasn't on like a specific eating regimen. I just was trying to do like meat and veggies and like minimal carbs. And then I had this sprint interval circuit that I would do. So I would do Pilates in the morning,
So
and
she's
then I would
working
leave
out,
there and I would sometimes directly go to the
dieting.
gym and hop on the treadmill for 30 minutes. And it's a specific sprint interval workout I did. So if you guys want that, I'll give it to you later. So then I would do that, or I also like to do like a hike, or I would go run the stairs, just some type of cardio. That's how you drop,
Cardio.
because Pilates alone is not going to make you lose weight. It's just going to give you long, lean muscles.
True facts.
So yeah, that's how I did it.
Okay. What is so
Mm,
objectionable about what Lori Harvey said? Well, I'll tell you what they said. What they said was Lori Harvey starved herself. She starved herself, and she was like aerobics type exic. I don't even know how they phrased it. Basically, they were saying like, listen, she was overworking herself, working herself out to the bone, and starving herself all to get thin because otherwise Michael B. Jordan was going to leave her because he's horrible. He's a misogynist who
mm,
wants his girl to be starving to death.
mm.
Or that diet culture ruined her and made her crazy to think she would have to lose weight when she's in a relationship to keep her man happy. And
Right.
that was the big thing. And I'm going to tell y'all something. So this is our dating and relationships, love and relationships segment. I'm going to tell y'all something. If you are not willing to do and maintain what got you the man or the woman of your dreams, right? If you're not willing to do it to maintain, right? Then you're going to lose that person eventually. Like yeah,
Facts. And you
right?
know what? It
Mm-hmm.
matters what your man think. Wait. what anybody in the world think about you don't matter. It's only about what that man thinks about you. And
Mm-hmm.
if you get overweight, ladies, don't get upset if your man tell you, "Hey, babe, you need to drop some pounds." You need to listen because if
Mm-hmm.
anybody know you and know how you look, it's definitely the man you wake up with every morning. Believe
Right.
me.
Right. And let's be real. There's a good chance that the Michael B. Jordan isn't he wasn't putting pressure on her. Like honestly, you think like okay, 20 pounds is a lot. 20 pounds is actually not that much when you're really small. So she was probably still more than passable, right? Like he probably was like, "Ooh, yeah, but I like it because your thighs got a little bigger, girl," and you've fallen in love. So you'd actually have to gain a little bit more weight than that if you started off really thin, before he would be like, "Girl, you're getting on the nasty side." I don't think
Right.
it came from him. It came from her. She said, "Listen, I like looking in the mirror and thinking I look attractive. Crazy me.
Mhm.
I like looking in the mirror and thinking, yeah, damn, he's gonna want to eat me up tonight." And she wasn't
Mhm.
feeling confident. She wasn't feeling comfortable in her own body. She was probably like, "Now we gotta always do it in missionary because that's where I can lie down and hide all my fat rolls and stuff." And she wasn't
Right.
comfortable, right? She wanted to keep her man who is, a high earner,
I
right?
value man.
High value, high fame, high celebrity. And she said, "Listen,
Right.
I want to keep him looking at me. I want to keep him focused on me. I want to keep him wanting me so that way he doesn't have to go out there to get it." So, whoa,
Right.
what is wrong with this? See, this is the problem with people today. It's like they feel like, well, I put in all that effort to go get me a man. Okay. I put in all that effort. But now that I got one, well, now I can just let it all go. No,
Right. No,
no.
it cannot be like that. And that's why, ladies, when you guys get married, you're beautiful before you get married. And then after you get married, the man wants to cheat on you because you're not the same woman that you were before marriage. Now you got comfortable. You wearing big old PJs to bed instead of wearing that sexy lingerie. You got
Mm-hmm.
the chichos going on. You know what I mean? You
Right.
wearing granny panties now instead of thongs. Girl, you just falling off. You need
Mm-hmm.
to stop doing that and be like, "You know what, babe? Let's work out together. Let's take long walks in the park." Because
Together. Yeah.
right, together, because when you're in that relationship with a man, you guys gonna be going out to eat a lot. Like we've
Mm-hmm.
all experienced that. Like, of course you're gonna be that woman who cooks your man a meal, but come on, you guys are
Mm-hmm.
gonna be eating out, and that's where all the fat comes from. And also, Ruby, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in happy weight? Like just gaining weight because you're happy? Is
See,
that a thing?
I do, but I think it's a catch 22. And this is part of the problem, right? Is that I think, because I mean, it's kind of like either when you're stressed or when you're happy or when you're busy, or there's a lot of different ways that, you can kind of pile on the pounds without recognizing. But then to me, it's a
Mm-hmm.
catch 22 because you might be partying a lot and you're really happy and you're gaining the weight. But, we know that when you are less active, you're less in shape, right? You're less happy with your physical appearance, all of your favorite clothes
Mm-hmm.
aren't fitting anymore. You start, and yeah, fine, we were raised in this culture, fine. You put that all together though, and you start becoming actually very unhappy. So I feel like it's a massive swing where you might have gained the weight because you're happy, deliriously so, but
Mm-hmm.
then because you've gained the weight and you're just less active, and part of it is Netflixing and chill. You don't have to go out anymore. You don't party
Right.
anymore because y'all have each other. I get it. But see, that's why Melody's suggestions of go out for a walk together, right? Like do things together. Because I'm going to tell you guys, gentlemen, I know, women are only supposed to care about provision, but that's not true, right? And if she was physically attracted to you, right? She looked at you, I want to sleep with him. Yeah, I want to,
Mhm.
right? Then you got to maintain too. Don't get it twisted. This is not a one-sided message. I'm saying it for y'all as well. If she really liked you with your facial hair all done up, and she liked when you got your lineup, you look fresh, right? You smell good. She loves that cologne on you, and then you just stop doing all of that because you already have her. Like,
Right.
no, no, because again, what you did to get them, right? What you did to get her, if you don't maintain it, right, then she's going to think either you're less interested in her, you care less about yourself. Like, these are not
Right.
messages you want to send. You want to send, like, ooh, I still feel great about her and about myself, and I still care about myself, and I still have that high self esteem. And so I am worth it. I'm worth taking care of,
Right. And
right?
ladies, if you're a good woman and a good wife, you control what your man eats at night. You control breakfast. So make sure you're making him a nice balanced meal. Make sure
Hmm.
you're giving him vegetables and the meat he needs and stuff. Don't feed him junk. Don't feed him cake and cupcakes. Feed the man correctly.
Hmm.
It's up to you, ladies.
It
It's up
really
to
is.
you.
So, hey,
Yes.
listen, and hey, maybe you're not the chef of your house. Okay, fine. I will say this because I am, right? And I know this, right? When Mr. Rubes and I both put on a few pounds and got lazy, right? It was on me to say something and to do something about it, right? It was on
Mhm.
me to start suggesting, like, wait, we have been getting the laziest things. Like, we're just stocking up on chips and stuff so that way we don't have to make an effort to make a healthy midday snack, right? Like,
Right.
that's what it was. And I was like, it's laziness. Sure, it was also for me, it was there's illness factors and whatever, but I'm like, okay, well, then what I got to do is I got to find something that is still easy to do given illness and other stressors, right? Because we
Mhm.
can't keep eating like this. We're getting way out of shape. There's some issues going on with my heart right now. He's gaining weight. How is this happening? And I realized it's not because we're just eating like terribly, or we're not even really eating out. There was just a lot of wasted calories, a lot of wasted crap going into our bodies
Um,
when it's just as easy, honestly. Like, I cleaned some grapes, cut up some cucumbers, clean some mini baby carrots, make a couple dips that are healthy, some healthy like
mhm.
yogurts and stuff. And now we have, and then popcorn, guys, just so you know, don't get like double butter double salt popcorn, but if you get like
Oh,
popping popcorn, right? With none of that,
yes.
it's really, you cannot eat enough popcorn. You cannot eat enough popcorn to make your calories be too much for the day if you don't load it up with salt and butter. So just get plain popcorn, and that would be your kind of like,
A nice
your
little snack, a healthy snack.
right. It's still a healthy snack. Nuts, I mean, all these different things. Like, even I didn't even realize it, but we were getting like, the really high fat yogurt, Greek yogurt, and it was like 220 calories for 3/4 of a cup. And I was like loading that into his green smoothies in the morning. And I wasn't even just reading labels to realize, like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. Right. So, like,
Mhm.
his green smoothie that should be 500 calories was closer to 1,000 calories for one smoothie for the day, and a lot of it was yogurt. So,
Right.
it's just paying attention, reading labels, whatever, whether you're single or you're in a relationship, whether you are the chef or you are the person who shops in the grocery store or whatever, just like pay attention to these little things because,
Absolutely, ladies.
right?
Go
Like,
ahead. I'm sorry you wasn't finished.
no, you're going to care. It's going to make you feel better. You're going to feel healthier, and that's going to make you happier. It's going to make you more active. It's going to make you guys have the energy and the
Mhm.
happiness to actually invest in one another. Because trust me, high fructose corn syrup, not good for
Oh,
relationships.
no. Yeah, make
Mm-mm.
sure you guys are reading the back of your drinks because let me tell you, I had to let a lot of drinks go. Like I used to like I don't even remember the name of it. It was so long ago. But I used to like Turkey Hill iced tea, but it's full of high fructose corn syrup. And then the second ingredient was just corn syrup and then sugar. So how
Mm-hmm.
many unhealthy things are you putting in these drinks? The healthiest thing to drink are 100% pure natural juices.
Yeah.
Also water. You can never
Mm-hmm.
get enough of water. Make sure you guys are drinking your 8 cups of water a day. And also, people, if you want to snack on some celery with peanut butter. Or, get
Absolutely.
a box of raisins or grapes. Stop eating all the junk food. Stop eating all the cake and cupcakes and candy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, too many people are dying young and I'm speaking on this because my cousin, he passed away at 40 and we thought he was healthy, but obviously he had a heart attack from eating unhealthy. So please, guys, please, black people especially, because y'all know y'all don't like to go to the doctor. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure you guys are eating healthy, exercising, and going to the doctor. I need
Right.
you to do this. I
Very much
need you
so.
guys around. Right.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, hey, we got a caller. Jiron 127 presents Men of God MOG Studios. Man, I thought you were gonna make that shorter for this time. No, I'm kidding. What's up? How you doing today, sir?
Oh,
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. How's everybody? tonight?
Good, good.
Good. How are
Well,
you?
first of all, to explain this that name, the name is it's it's an idea for myself. So the last time I was on the call and we was talking about what we were talking about, I was speaking in past tense of what I used to do. I no longer do that because I'm trying to be a more holier person, if you will. So that's
Okay,
Hmm.
following in God's plans and what He has for your life, as opposed to you just living life. It's a difference.
okay,
Hmm.
okay.
So it's an idea for myself because that's what I plan on doing. It's similar to this platform, the way you got the live stream up and everything, and quote unquote podcast, if you will. Same idea. So it's an idea that I keep for myself to remember to do it when I get around to it.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's
Go
why
ahead
it's
and
so
keep your
long.
name. Yeah, I like your name, Jerron. But we're not going to say the whole thing. We're just going to call you Jerron. Are you okay with that?
That's my actual name. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, what's on your mind? What brings you here tonight to speak?
Well, you know, I saw the topic of the day and I thought I could chime in, but it seems like y'all was talking about something else. So from the sounds of it, people are getting mad at Michael B for his Lori Harvey because she decided to lose weight.
Um, what was it exactly, Ruby? They were getting mad, right? Because of
Yeah.
her losing weight.
So
The men were getting mad, right? Or
yeah,
was
so
it the women?
basically no, the it was a twofold issue. So the men were getting mad that women were saying that relationship weight was really a thing, that it's just a natural thing that happens. You get into relationships, you gain weight, you kind of let yourself go a little bit. It's a natural thing that everyone does. And then the women were getting mad that Lori Harvey said, no, this isn't good. I need to lose weight to keep my man and to keep myself happy and healthy. So I'm going to go, hardcore. I'm going to work out twice a day. I'm going to do cardio and Pilates, because Pilates just does muscle. It doesn't make you lose fat necessarily. So, and your heart health, and I'm going to diet, which for her was 1,200 calories a day. And the women were saying, oh my God, she was starving herself to death, all to try to keep her misogynistic man. That's basically what they were saying. And for the record,
Hmm.
Jerron, we are going to get to the topic of the day later. We
Mhm.
have several segments. So this is just one. And then when we do the main event panel, that's what it's going to be about. It's the topic of the day.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Um,
I'm here all night, so it didn't
Okay,
make a
cool.
difference.
Okay. But yeah, so that's what they were mad about, basically.
I got you. So as usual, per usual in our generation, people mad about nothing.
Yes.
mhm.
It's nothing. I mean, number one is not their relationship. So what they do in their relationship is what they do. Obviously, from a man's perspective, we understand that, in any relationship you get into, it's real easy to get a little soft and kind of don't do the things you were accustomed to doing before. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where that happy weight comes from. But at the same time, like everybody's saying, you two ladies, you want to keep yourself up, stay in shape, and be the reason why y'all got together in the first place because y'all found each other attractive. So obviously,
Absolutely.
if y'all together and y'all kind of slouching, y'all not looking the way y'all was before. So I think it's good. Um, Whether or not it's because of Michael B or her own volition, we I don't know, but I think it's good if he's motivating her to stay in the gym, work out, and everything. Like I remember I saw a clip a couple of months back. I guess he was filming Creed 3 or getting in shape for Creed 3 or something, and they was in a boxing ring. Me, I'm a former boxer, amateur boxer, so
Mm.
that touched my heart. I would love to have a female I can go in the ring with. We can just, do a little play spar and all that kind of stuff with.
Oh,
But
yeah.
to me, that's healthy. If both of y'all are working towards being healthy together, that's ultimately going to make you mentally stronger because you need to
Yeah.
subjugate the body to
Mm-hmm.
punishment in order to strengthen the mind.
Yeah. And you
Exactly.
know what else, Jerron? Sex. Lots of sex. It's healthy for the mind, it's healthy for the
Hey,
body. Sex, sex, sex. Physical and mental health. Yes.
oh look, man, the back when I was training at like 100%, the person I was involved with at the time, this is the first girl I've ever had that had a sex drive higher than me, and that like took me back. I couldn't. I didn't know how to deal with it. Like it was crazy because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when you a boxer or a fighter, you can't have sex so much because you got to keep your full strength. So I remember she asked me. She's like, how many times you think we're gonna have sex during the week? Me, I thought about 3 times a week was regular. I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 3 times a week. She's like, no, 3 times a day. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
at that dumbfounded look on my face, like, huh? I'm like, oh no, you're trying to kill me up here. I'm like, 3 times a day, you crazy.
It's
Mm.
healthy though. I think sex is healthy. You
Well,
said that when you're a
it
boxer.
is. Oh man,
Yeah.
trust me, I was burning a whole lot of calories. I was dripping sweat a
Hmm.
whole lot.
I
So,
absolutely agree with that, but we do have to move on to our next segment, Jerron. So we're going to
Oh,
drop you down for now,
uh,
and then you can stay in the back, and then let us know in the private chat if you want to come up for the next topic or not, or you can leave and just call back in when you're ready. It don't matter one way or the other. But thank you so much. As always, like absolutely love what you have to say. Always, thank you so much, Jerron.
thank you, Jerron. We
appreciate it.
appreciate you. We
All right.
really do. But our next topic is going to be celebrity. Are you
Scary.
guys ready?
Are you ready for this?
Oh, well, let's get it. So, as you guys know, since Kevin Samuels passed, people have been doing a lot of clout chasing and worshiping or whatever you want to call that. Well, we have two men. One is a rapper and the other one is just a random guy. But two men already got his full face tattooed on their body. And I think they both have him tatted on their legs. One got him tatted on their thigh, and one got him tatted on the leg part. So
I
the
think
one that
that's an
got him
arm. I feel like that's an upper arm,
no,
like a
no,
shoulder,
that's
isn't
the
it?
no, that's the leg. I read the article.
Wow.
That's the leg. That's like the knee.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the knee down, and the other one is the thigh. Now, the tattoo of the thigh is a rapper. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes right now. Um, you're on your computer. Can you get the rapper's name for me, please, if you can? I don't know if you'll be
Okay.
able to.
I will
Sorry,
look for you.
guys.
Keep going. I'll
Yeah,
let you know in a sec.
so right. So yeah, he got the tattoo and he's getting a lot of slack from
Wait, I have
men.
a question. Is
Yeah,
Bandman Kevo a rapper?
that that's him.
Okay.
Bandman Kevo, that's the name. I think it's Bandman Kevo. Well,
Okay.
anyway, he's from a rapper from Atlanta, and Kevin helped a lot of men out in their lives. This is a symbolic tattoo, and a lot of people are mad at him for getting a symbolic tattoo, but they're not mad at women for getting paw prints on their chest or any kind of tattoo, stupid names on their chest or on their arm. I mean, I've seen some ridiculous tattoos and nobody say nothing about it. But as soon as somebody get a tattoo of someone in memory of a person, it's a problem. I think it's really nice that these people are getting these symbolic tattoos, because a lot of these men had low self-esteem. Um, they weren't entrepreneurs. They didn't know how to dress. They didn't know nothing about colognes. And Kevin taught these men a lot. And he also taught these men to have self-worth. Don't let these women run all over you. He gave men a platform to speak their minds because we all know that men are always being silenced. But Kevin Samuels came out and basically made it so that these men can have a voice. So I don't see anything wrong with these tattoos at all. How about you, Ruby?
Girl, you don't want to ask me. Listen, first of all, okay, if you're gonna get a tattoo of some random dude on, and I know he's not random, but I mean he is some random dude. It's
Right,
not
he's
like this is
not
your
right.
wife or your father or something. Um, at least make sure this is right. You know what I mean? At least make sure it's right. So when you look at the one on the right, and that's the one that obviously was a more expensive tattoo by the rapper who could afford it. Cool.
No,
It at least looks like the man. You know?
right.
Like,
Right.
bro, the one on the left is a whole clown show. Like, I'm
That
embarrassed
was
for him. He has to
horrible.
walk around, and that's his whole bottom leg, and he's got to walk around
Yeah.
with that on his leg forever.
Yeah, it looks horrible. I mean, the face, nothing looks the same. The only thing is the glass. Not even the glasses. They made the glasses small. Kevin Samuels wear bigger glasses than that. If you look at the one on the right, those are the glasses that Kevin Samuels wear. The suit, everything is off. His head
Right?
shape, it looks nothing like Kevin
And
Samuels.
then he's holding like this flask, it looks like, and I swear to God, on the front of the flask it says dud, like DUD, like dud, like this is a dud, the whole dud tattoo. Girl, I can't. When I saw that, I was just like, no, I'm over humanity. Here's the thing. Um, it's one thing. I think I'm not a tattoo person. So to that point, I'm going to be very critical of tattoos, period. Um, so I think it's weird and creepy that you would get the tattoo of the face of someone who is not your mother or your child or your spouse or maybe a grandparent even. I think it's weird. I do. I'm sorry. This is not like your family member or something who had passed away. This is for now, and I hear the point that you made. Okay, this is, he was like, father figure or a role model,
It was symbolic.
teacher, right? But like, if I told you I got my fourth grade teacher's face tattooed on my arm, wouldn't you think it's a little bit weird and obsessive? Like, sure, she was
No,
amazing, but
I
like,
mean, listen, he did a lot for men. I heard that men all over the world are mourning his death, like men in Russia. Like he reached a big, 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 big community of people, not just the black community, white community, Hispanic, Asian, everybody are upset. If you're a man, you're upset. So he meant a lot to people. People are calling him Saint Kevin. All right, that's how they feel. You
yeah,
know
it's
how it is.
obsessive and creepy. I'm
Mm,
sorry, it's obsessive. Listen, I'm not downplaying the role. Well, actually, no, I am. I guess kind of a little bit downplaying the role that some random person you don't know, that you've never directly had personal contact with in your real life, to exact a direct and real change on your life. This is a person who a content creator who you really liked, you really respected, whose words and teachings really helped you. Cool, that's great. um are you out of your mind? Like, I think it's weird when these people obsess over like these celebrities because, oh, I've been watching his movies since I was 3. I don't care. They're not, like, you don't know this person, right? Like, the fact of the matter is that if you had never seen any of the KS videos at all, if you've never seen it, there's a lot of guys who have never seen a video, but you know what? Because they watch other people, right? They've also gotten a lot of that information, and not necessarily, with the terminology, but they've gotten the information. You know, to me, and again, I'm not trying to downplay it because he had a method, right? He had a method to his madness, and it worked for some people and it reached some people, and that's great. But I'm like, it's not like you cured cancer or solved the race problem or just
right.
something.
But Ruby, who are you to tell people how to feel about Kevin? If Kevin changed their lives, if Kevin gave them more self-esteem, higher self-esteem, if Kevin made them feel like they have a voice and they don't have to basically let women run all over them, then why is that a problem? Why don't you or anybody else speak out on people getting ridiculous tattoos? But when
Well,
it's
I think they're all
a
ridiculous.
RIP, but when it's like a RIP tattoo, a tattoo of someone who meant something to them, then everybody have something to say. And like me personally, I hate tattoos. I would never get a tattoo. I think they're tacky. But if something really means that much to you, go for it. But don't get stupid paw prints on your chest or going up your thighs or stupid jail
I think
tattoos.
that's
That's
equally
ridiculous.
stupid. See, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think I don't like tattoos. I don't like them on men and I don't like them on women. I don't like tattoos. So that's
Me
why I said,
neither.
I'm like, to begin with, I'm not coming from a perspective that starts with I like tattoos or I respect tattoos, or like I'm coming from a perspective where I don't like tattoos in general. I don't like them. I don't understand them.
I
Um,
hate them.
right? Like I feel like if you're gonna get maybe something like tribal, like because it's a cultural thing, it's tribal to like, I mean, as far as you're from this particular tribe and then the tribe, I get that, I guess, but like this idea where you just want to take ink and permanently like just mar your body, like
Hmm.
I really just don't like, to me, I already don't like it. So
Me
then,
neither.
it's not like they put his name or a saying. Even if they had done that, I don't know. I think it would be different for me. Like if you would
I
put
think the
words.
other one says, the first one, the one that's kind of tacky, it says Saint Kevin or something like that underneath it.
If he had just written that, if he had written Saint Kevin, R.I.P. with the dates, and then maybe a quote from him, I would have a different opinion about it. It's, to me, it's weird that you would put another man's face on your body, and he's not your kid. He's not your. Do you see what I'm saying? He's just
I
like some random dude. I
understand.
think it's
I,
weird.
I think you should put what means something to you. And I understand you're saying it
The
should
man's
be a
face doesn't.
family member or something, but
Let me
Kevin
ask you a
means
question.
something. Go ahead.
Melody, what
Yeah.
what straight heterosexual male is saying Kevin's face means something to me? No, they're not saying that. They're saying his words, his message, his whatever, but they're not
Uh,
saying his face meant
Ruby,
something. Whereas in your
Ruby.
daughter's face, right, or your child's face who passed away, your mom's face who passed away, their face means something to you,
I
right? So
understand. But listen, if you can put a picture of Jesus's face or his hands, you know what I mean, without anything underneath it, that can mean something to you. You don't
and I
have to
think that's
put words.
weird.
Whatever,
It's
it is weird.
idolatry. Do you
I
know it's
understand
actually
it's
against
weird.
God?
Yeah, I no, I understand it's weird, but we don't know. We're not in the tattoo world. I hate tattoos. You hate tattoos. But people who do get tattoos, they get things that mean something to them. See, we don't understand because we don't have any. But like my sister, she has angel wings on her back. That means something to her. Whatever it means, I don't know. But she said it was meaning to it. I would never get the angel wings, but it meant something to her. So I get it. I
Weird.
get why you think it's silly. I think it's silly too,
Weird.
but hey, I'm not going to judge you. Do you? If that man meant that much to you, do you?
I'm
You know
gonna
what I
judge
mean?
you. But before we get the caller in, let's read Dane C's super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Breaking the seal for the night. $2. He
Thank
said,
you, Jane.
right, thank you. He said, Melody and Ruby, the dynamic duo. Damn right we are.
Hey,
Hmm.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Jordan, you
Uh,
should definitely get us tatted. How about
oh,
it?
all right. So we got Al Show. Okay.
Hey,
Well, welcome, Al Show. What do you got to say on this subject?
Welcome, ladies. As
oh,
for the tattoo, hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm not into ink, and I don't really care what people get tattooed. I think it's odd that they would get Kevin Samuel's tattoo, but I guess they're fans of his, so that would make
right,
sense, I guess.
right. And you're
Sorry.
not going to judge them because they're fans and he meant a lot to them, right? So it's
Well, I
like,
would I would be critical of the fact they're fans of Kevin Samuel, but if they're fans of Kevin Samuel, it would make logical sense that they could do something like this. So
right,
I don't think it would be illogical. But as for them being fans of Kevin Samuel, is something that was stated a little earlier before I came up, and that is, I think it bears scrutiny at this point to decide to ask at this point. I think the problem with the death of Kevin Samuels at this point is there seems to be a lot of inaccuracy and overinflation as to what the individual and what he did on YouTube means and his meaning. And I think that's a problem. Um, I think the problem is that people are trying to turn him into something he wasn't.
right.
I was on a panel not long ago, and a guy came up after I did, and he actually cited a number of not only African leaders, but also people like Martin Luther King Jr. And then he said,
Mhm.
Kevin Samuel stands on the shoulders of giants. And that is one of the most ridiculous pieces. And I think it's emblematic and indicative of the hyperbole that has emanated from the death of Kevin Samuels, is this
Mhm.
idea that somehow this individual was a leader. He wasn't. He was a YouTuber.
He
That's
was
all
a
he was.
leader. He was a leader.
He
He
was
was a
not a
voice for a
leader.
lot of
He
he
was
was a
not a
voice
leader of
for a
anything.
lot of black men.
A
He was.
voice is not, he may have been a voice. I mean, there's no doubt that there were people that liked him and that agreed with him. But as I noted on my channel, I did a video about it when I did a live stream about it. What Kevin Samuels essentially did was take a bunch of old fashioned, really ancient tropes and archetypes about women and
Mhm.
basically put them out into this digital era. And we're talking about archetypes that are beyond misogynistic, beyond
Mhm.
disrespectful to women. I mean, I'm not, the problem wasn't with Kevin Samuels that he didn't agree with women or that he argued with them or that he tried to put them in their place. It's that he believed there was a place. It is the belief systems. And like I said, these are very old things that he brought up, very old things
So then, Al,
that,
can I ask you? So then you don't think
mhm.
that there is like in relationships and marriages and families that there are different roles that each individual person should be fulfilling or upholding?
Mm.
See, that's the problem that I see with relationships. This idea of relationships and marriage. It's solely this idea that you have to be placed in a box. You have to be put in a specific space, like a room, and you cannot leave this room. And this has been one of the problems with women for millennia. Is like I said,
Mm.
what Samuel's done is taken old, very old, I'm talking ancient archetypes about women, and he keeps promulgating them and he kept promulgating them and putting them forth. I mean, I'm not even talking about rather basic sexism. I'm talking about stuff that is way, 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 way in the dustbins of the past or in the annals of the past. And
Such as
so,
what? Can you give an example?
Yeah, please
um,
do.
well, well, I do in my live stream, but let me just cite one aspect.
Yes,
What
please. Because
you
after
get,
this, we're going to have to move on because this is our call
right,
in segment. So we will
right,
have an
I
open
understand.
panel later, but this is just call in
Oh,
for now.
sure.
Okay.
Oh, no, no,
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
that's fine by me. I would say one thing that strikes me right off the bat is this inherent idea. One of the things is this inherent idea that there is a space for women, and this is something that's been was promulgated by Samuels. It's rather ancient. It's this idea that there is a absolute sole space for women, and that it is solely the domestic sphere, and that women have absolutely no right to leave beyond a specific sphere. In other words, it's a sort of spatial geography that confines women and has always confined women historically and societally. It's this, and he has pretty much promulgated this. And I guess his followers believe it too. So and it's also another thing that he had done is this idea that somehow that women, which is unrealistic. Well, not necessarily is it unrealistic. It's just illogical. It's this idea that women are dependent upon men solely, which is not the case. In fact, it's not only not the case, it wouldn't make sense because when men and women meet and they get into relationships, women obviously have their own lives. They work, they have careers, they have jobs, they make money. This whole idea that women are financially, economically, and in all ways dependent upon men, or they should be, doesn't work with the reality of the current economy. And the economy as it's been for a while in the US, just all hands on deck, where men and women
Right.
have to be able to sustain themselves economically. So I would cite those 2 points right then and
Okay.
there.
Well,
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
Al,
go
I
ahead.
think that this is like a whole. We're getting way off on a tangent
Right.
because it's
I
just
was
about the
gonna say
tattoos.
that
But
we
you
have to.
wanted me
We
to
actually
cite
have to.
something, and I did.
No, no,
I
I
know,
know, I
but we
understand. Right,
right, but we have
right.
to move on. But if you could
Sure.
please stay in the back because we're gonna have an open panel later. So we're gonna drop you to the back and I'm gonna read the super chat. But just stay there if you can and join the open panel later. But we have a super chat from Complex Easy. Thank you, I said thank
Thank
you, super
you.
chat. See,
I know you.
look at me. I'm tripping up on my words. Thank you so
Mm-mm-mm.
much, Complex. We really, really appreciate you.
Yes,
He says people have tattoos of Confederate flags and Nazi symbols, but have time today to talk about a Kevin Samuels tattoo. Exactly. That's my point, Complex Easy. People don't talk about the crazy extreme tattoos. Like those are ignored. People see them, they don't make streams about them, they don't talk about them. But as soon as a man like Kevin Samuels, he lost his life, he passed away. He meant a lot to these black men, not only black men, worldwide men are speaking out on Kevin Samuels. And two people get tattoos and the whole world is in an uproar. All men, especially men, I hear the men shaming other men for getting tattoos of someone who meant something to them. But you never see these same men shaming Nazis, shaming the people with the Confederate flags. You don't see that.
I shame that
So
too. I'm
yeah,
just
I
saying.
shame it too, but we don't shame it like how people are going on social media shaming this, like this is the worst thing in the world. You don't see them doing that on social media. You don't see people getting on IG, Facebook, and YouTube shaming these other tattoos. You have crime going on in neighborhoods and all that. You don't see people talking about that and shaming that. But as soon as somebody get a tattoo of a man that lost his life and meant something to them, it's like everybody have an issue, everybody have a problem. I just think it's
I just think
outrageous.
it's really weird that you're gonna put another man's face on your body when you are a man, unless that man was directly biologically related to you and was your father, grandfather, son, uncle, nephew, whatever. But
I guess
okay,
we agree to disagree. But
we're really gonna have to. But okay, E Capone sent us the super chat. Thank you so much, sir, for that.
thank you.
Appreciate. Right. He just said we could fill in the blanks right there. So I'm gonna say he was saying Ruby and Melody are the greatest ever of all time. Thank you so much,
We
sir.
sure are. Thank you.
Right. And now up next we have Jerron. You wanted to speak on the tattoo fiasco. What's going on, sir?
Hi, Jerome.
How y'all doing again? Of course,
Well,
I'm pretty much in agreement with Melody. I actually both of y'all actually. The tattoo on the left that does look completely utterly ridiculous. That looked
it
like that
does.
Thank you.
what's that dude from KFC? That KFC logo.
Oh yes, Colonel,
Yeah,
Mm.
that kind of looked like the KFC guy.
Colonel.
That
Yes,
one just that looks yeah, that's bad. The other one looked nice, but
yeah,
I agree with you ladies in general. I don't have any tattoos. I don't believe in tattoos.
good.
I don't believe in
Mm.
messing up the temple that the Lord built for you anyway. That's my
Hmm.
personal thing on that. People are starting to idolize this man, which is not good in and of itself. Um, People in general, we can't idolize people because when you idolize the person, the figure, the face, you are undermining the message. His message, as Melody pointed out, was he's trying to get tie fire to a lot of these black men who just they don't seem to understand that hey, the world has changed, the world has evolved.
Hmm.
Look what's going on in our own communities. That was his message. So I'm looking at this from a biblical standpoint, if you will. Kevin Samuels, he was allowed to operate in the span that he did, that 5 years or whatever it was, because he needed to plant the seed. The seed has been planted.
Hmm.
Black men, along with a lot of other men, have gotten the message and they need to execute. Getting a tattoo is undermining his message. He wants you to go into action. You need to start being consistent. You need to start actually doing the things he was saying. So
Exactly. I
Yeah,
agree 100% with you. Don't just sit there and get a tattoo. Do what he's telling you to do. And that was a great point, Jerron, because the same person I got the tattoo probably not even listening to the message. He just want the tattoo. You never know. He may even want the tattoo for clout,
right. That's
just because
to
he's a
me. That's what it
rapper.
is. It's attention. That's attention. You just want some
Exactly.
attention. You want some clout, whatever. However, people want to address that nowadays. Whereas you may be undermining the message. So the ultimate message is, hey, you need to, tie up your bootstraps, and you actually need to go out there and you actually need to do it. I was
That's
watching a
right.
video that he posted a few years ago. I think it was on somebody's feed or some either on IG or somewhere, and he was basically just saying, "You belong there," referring to black men in these spaces. I work in the medical field, and let me be the first to tell you, number one, there's a 3-to-1 ratio of females to males in the medical field.
Hmm.
Out of that 3-to-1 ratio, you probably got a 0.0005% that's actually black males in that
Yeah.
field. So it's already at a deficit for males in general. But then when you get down to black males, you're likely not to see them very, very often. So he's speaking directly to black men, saying you do belong in these spaces. It's not that you don't belong there. You got to do the work to get there.
Right.
And this is why so many black males gravitate to his message. And by proxy, a lot of other as well.
I'm sorry, I got to disagree with you because here's the thing. When that was his message and that's all he was talking about, he was like excited if he could get like 16 people listening to him, right? It wasn't until he turned his full attention and focus onto what women were doing wrong or the way women were thinking wrong and what women needed to change that suddenly his support in the space blew up. And to be clear, I was here when that was happening years and years and years ago, where you know what, it was this whole argument. I was supporting him. I was a patron of his. I had a wrench on his channel, and I was saying, hey, listen, he's saying valuable stuff that young black men especially need to understand, that yes, your image matters, yes, what you're wearing matters, yeah, what you smell, like how you present yourself matters. And all of the young men were
Absolutely.
trying to make it about dating. They were trying to say, oh, he's trying to say we have to do this to get a woman, and he was like, no. BGS was like, no. So many people were like, no, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is that your image matters, whether it's about employment, success in your career, about anything. Just image matters. You have to care about those things. You have to recognize how your image makes people accept you or write you off, makes people want to elevate you or hold you down. You have to recognize it's a natural human ingrained thing, whether it's dating or any other type of relationship in your life, and you have to work on that accordingly. When he was talking like that, the majority of this space was wholeheartedly either not supporting him or outrightly speaking against him, much in the same way that the women started speaking out against him when he started talking about the women. So
So you
let's be
saying
clear
now,
here. The men really appreciate the fact that he's calling out the women. They did not appreciate him when he was calling out the men, and that was his sole focus. They
Can I
didn't.
so you
rebuttal to
saying
that?
that men now they liking him now only because he blew up. That's what you're saying. They didn't like him before.
No, what I'm saying is it's not about him blowing up. He blew up because he changed his focus from focusing on the men and the men's image and what the men were doing wrong and how the men needed to change, and he changed tactics and said, okay, I'm not going to focus on the men. I'm going to focus on the women, right? So his message for the men didn't change. It's just he stopped making that his whole message. The majority of his message was focusing on the women, right? And then a little bit about the men, right? But whereas in before, his whole focus was the men and a little tiny bit about the women. That's what it
Right.
used to be. And then when
I
he
hear what you're
switched the
saying,
focus, is then he
Ruby.
blew up.
I hear
Right.
what
But
you're saying on that too.
right. But you know what, Ruby? I think the reason why he blew up because he was talking about the women, because people were like, finally, because there's women channels out there who bash men and talk about men. So men were tired of hearing everybody coming from men. And finally, they had somebody who got up and stood up for men and got on a women because nobody was calling these women out. Feminism took over. Women was doing what they wanted to do, and everyone was scared to speak out. But finally, when Kevin did it, that's when everybody was like, yeah, thank you. No one else is doing this. And that's why he blew up. That's what I think. That's my opinion.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Go
Yeah, but
ahead.
let me
It was
read the super
actually
chat before you
it,
speak on it because I don't want it
okay.
to
Yeah, we don't
disappear.
want it to disappear. Okay.
Right. So Complex Easy, thank you so much for
Thank
that
you.
$5 super chat. He says, I have to disagree with you. How many people have you seen with Jesus Christ's face tatted on them? I saw one yesterday. Yeah, I see that all the time. The prayer hands or the rosary. What do you call it? Rosary going around the hands and the face.
Which
Yes,
is
we see
different
that
than
a
the
lot.
face of Jesus. Anyone who has a picture of Jesus's face in their house, in their church, on their body, they are literally going against one of the 10 commandments. You're not allowed to make drawings what Jesus looks like. You're not.
No graven images.
No graven
Mhm.
images, exactly. So in and of itself, I think they're idiots who are blasphemous and are, they stamp themselves with a sign that says basically, I'm going to hell for my idiocy. That's the way I see them. So it's not really better, right? Like, just
Tell
because people don't realize
Complex.
they should criticize it doesn't mean it's not totally criticizable.
Tell
Right.
Complex he got to look up Caesar Borgias. Caesar Borgias is the image of the white Jesus that everybody sees with that long flowing brown hair. That is not
Mm.
Christ.
That's not
That-
what he. I think he had dreads. I think it was brown skin. Because didn't they say the hair like wool or something like that? See, I
Yeah,
don't read the Bible. I'm being
Christ,
honest.
look,
skin like burnt
before we go on
bronze and
that
hair like
tangent,
wool.
Right.
before we go on that tangent, Christ was a man from the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah is genetically a black race of people. All the
Hmm.
tribes of Israel are, in fact, racially black people. Now, when people look at it today in those areas, yeah, of course they look different because you got so many different admixtures of people over the centuries. Now, you could ask yourself, if you go back 500 years, were there Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans that we know of today? No, they were indigenous 500 years ago. It doesn't take long to add in the admixtures of these different peoples and different cultures to make them look completely different from what they originally were. Those people were black in that area back then.
Hmm.
That's the part that people are undermining.
And I agree with you. And also, real quick, the Dre Experience said Tommy Sotomayor was calling out women for nearly a decade. I think what it was is people didn't like his delivery, whereas Kevin Samuels came up there with a suit on and his background was nice, and people I think like that. The fact that his image was a lot better than Tommy Sotomayor's image. I think that's what attracted people to him over Tommy. What do
I
you think,
Mm.
Ruby?
prefer Alpha
I
Male.
disagree because at one point Tommy was big. He was all of them. He was on various different I'll say more mainstream media platforms, interviewed and so on and so forth. I think it just comes down to he had a hard time controlling his temper and his antics.
Yeah, that's
And
what I said. His tone, the way he was acting, whereas Kevin Samuels was more calm with the suit.
well, I don't even know
That's
about
what I
it's
said.
not even the suit. It just literally just came down to Tommy would lose his mind and then talk about how he hates all of those, not men or women, all of those N words, hard ER, right? And then talk about how he wants them all to be shot and killed or something. Like he said
Exactly.
cancelable things. And see, the thing is, because him saying outrageous stuff was fine. That's literally how he built his name. People loved it, right? It just came down to when he literally would lose his mind, he literally would lose his temper, and he would say things that gets you canceled and are borderline arrestable offenses. I think that was really the issue.
Ex-
But guys,
Exactly.
Have
Whereas
y'all heard of
Kevin came
Alpha
on
Male
with the suit.
Strategy?
yeah, I've heard
Yes.
of Alpha Male Strategies. He's
Alpha
pretty
Male
new.
Strategies is actually how I even got into that whole men's sector of, I don't know what it's called, whatever division they call it. That's how I initially even got into it. So Alpha Male Strategies, he talks about a lot of the same stuff that Kevin did, but
Everyone does. The
but
whole space does.
but
The whole manosphere.
But the difference was alpha male, he's coming from a different generation a little bit. So his perspective is a little different. Kevin, Kevin actually he reminds me a lot of my great uncle. They got very similar demeanor, looking sharp with the fancy suits, and they trying to elevate you on a different level into the business atmosphere. Whereas alpha male, he simply is saying, look, fellas, the women, they've been playing games all these years and we just never figured it out. Well, now it's time to change. It's time to flip the script. So all these guys have been planting seeds over the last 5, 6 years. And now us guys, we are finally it's starting to gravitate with us and it's starting to actually stick. It wasn't sticking before because a lot of us guys, especially young men, all we're looking at is sex. Well, life is more than just sex. So you got to be on your purpose. What are you actually trying to do and accomplish in life? This is what these guys are talking about. This is what you should aim for. 50 Cent used to say it all the time. He's like, look, you know, the females, he used another term for them, but that's going to come with the money and the power. Get the money and the power first, females going to come.
And
Right.
that is very true. But guys, we do have to move on because we're
Go
gonna
ahead.
get stuck, and we got 2 more segments, right? So let's move on. Sorry, Jerome, I'm gonna drop you back again. Let us know if you want to talk about the next segment. We will bring you back up.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
be there.
and of
And hold
course,
on.
mhm.
I'm sorry. Before we continue, guys, make sure you hit the like button. And I gave you guys wrenches for a reason. I want my mods to please tell everybody to hit the like button, share, some of our links, do what you got to do because I gave you guys wrenches for that reason. So please promote the channel, hit the like button on your way in. Thank
Yes.
you.
And also, we need to make sure that the call in link is also being shared so people know that they can call in um,
Right,
and give their 2 cents about everything too, because, how the heck else are they supposed to know?
right.
So we could get that popping. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jordan. Exactly. Get them likes up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. All right. While y'all are figuring out how to work that lace, so now we're going to talk about something that went viral. I was going to talk about something else. You can ask Melody. I was going to talk about something else, but then this
Mhm.
happened, and I think that this is interesting. We should talk about it. Okay. So I have a series of 3 quick videos, the 3 quick TikToks to show y'all. Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, I know. We all know Ruby loves to share a video or two. Um,
Mhm.
right? So now I want y'all to listen, okay? So I'm going to tell y'all the circumstances of this is you have this young woman here. She is on a date, okay? With this guy. And basically what ends up happening is Buddy wants to take her home with him. Ooh, baby, gotta take you home with me tonight. Ooh,
Tonight.
uh-oh.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
yes.
But she ain't having that. She's not trying to smash on the first date. So she tells him no. And she really doesn't like his response. So let's take a listen to this situation. As you can see here, it says, literally just met him. Okay, let's listen.
Literally just met him.
So you're just gonna sit on your phone?
Yeah, are you gonna get up and start walking?
Why do I have to walk? Like,
I mean, you look close enough to walk. So.
Now, you all
Mm.
heard what she said. She said, you're just going to sit on your phone? He's like, yeah, you're going to get up and start walking. So basically, what she said was, all right, we're not going to your house. You're taking me home. I'm not going to smash tonight, right? So he said, cool, walk home. Walk home. She's like, wait, what? Like, she clearly didn't take him seriously at first. She's like, now you're just going to ignore me for the rest of the date? He's basically
Right.
saying there is no more date. Walk home, chick.
I
Right,
would have legit
deuces.
thought he was playing. Legit. Like,
Right? Okay, let's keep listening, though.
but you drove me here, so I don't get why I'm walking home all the time. Like, I don't get that. Doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, you don't want to come back to my place, so there's no point in me wasting gas. You can walk from here.
So I mean, I feel like I don't want to go to your place because I don't know you well enough, and it's just like our first time meeting. Like, does that not make sense to you? I don't get it.
I mean, we spent the whole day together. I'm obviously attracted to you. You know, I don't see what the issue is. You can either come back to my place or what.
Mm.
So y'all hear this. So basically she's saying like, dude, I'm sorry. I guess you're used to dating hoes, but that's not me. I don't do all of that. So I don't know you, right? Like, yeah, the first date went well, but I don't know you like that. I'm not willing to just smash like that. And he's saying, well, I don't care. I don't have gas money to waste on you if I can't take you home with me tonight. That's what it is for him. All right. So that's where we're at. Now, wait, y'all, I don't know if y'all can see because the writing here, right, is small. Now, that video that I showed y'all, it went viral. The first one, it went very viral. It went way over millions, and then it got taken down. So she put it back up, and that one, the second time she's uploaded, is already over 1 million views, right?
Mm.
And this was just May 15th. So now she posted this video in response to this Black Witch 6660 said, "Girl, you broke or something?" And she said, "Well, actually, I paid for all of my own food." And so let's take a look here. And she actually paid for her own gas too.
My
Right?
That
brother
is
in Christ,
pregnant.
you are scaring the whole.
I don't know what that was, but I thought I would play it for y'all because that was weird. But also, she paid $20 for gas. So she paid $20 for gas before the date ever happened. Then she paid for both of their meals. Okay. And then he actually gave her back $6. So what happened was when he invited her to the date, right? Then what happened was basically his check didn't clear or something. So she said, "Don't worry about it, man. I got you. It's cool." So for people who are trying to say she was just on the date because she was trying to get a free meal or blah blah blah, no, when his money didn't come through like it was supposed to, okay, she actually fronted the cost. So now his whole entire reasoning for saying I shouldn't have to waste my gas money, like, girl, it's his gas. She paid for the gas,
She
right?
paid
So,
for gas and a meal, and you can't even give her a ride home? Like, that's
right.
weak. That's weak.
Right. So now, obviously, she posts this online. It goes viral, whatever. Now, Buddy decides to call her to apologize hours later. Now, me and Shar covered this on, I think it was a Saturday when we were talking about the Karen segment on Just Ask Shar. And we covered this time where this guy, flaked on a girl, but then calls in later to apologize and da da da. She doesn't answer him. And then the mother starts calling. And basically, what ends up happening is these guys are not making great decisions. Sometimes they're taking information that they get from the internet that tells them how they're supposed to weed out gold diggers and so on and so forth, and it's incomplete. And so they end up making bad decisions. And then when they regret it, they consult with other people, and other people tell them, "Yo, that was stupid. You should call and apologize," or something, right? So that's what I think happened here. But okay, let's take a listen. This is only part one. She hasn't released part two of it yet. That's how viral and new this is. This is when they met up because he wanted to explain in person, and he did bring her flowers. So let's see what happened.
You said it was a joke, but you didn't say that before I left the table. Like, why did you wait 2 hours to tell me that
Did
shit?
y'all hear that? She said he came, apologized, brought flowers, and said, "I was just joking with you." And so she's like, "But you didn't say that before I left the table. You didn't say that the whole conversation we had before I left the table as I was walking home. You didn't say it was a joke. How did it take you 2 hours to reach out to me and apologize and then say it was a joke? This is weird." Okay, so that's what happened.
Wasn't even that long of a walk, so I don't see why you complain and relax. It wasn't that
Ruby,
big.
it's kind
I
of
mean,
low. I don't know
18
if that's
minutes?
me or it's
You can't
very
hear
low,
it?
the audio.
When
No.
did you get
Okay.
it?
I'll just tell y'all what it says. Basically, so he says, right, at this point, he says he was just joking. He didn't really think she was going to take it seriously. And so he can't believe that she's angry or upset right now. She's making a mountain out of a molehill, and she doesn't live that far away anyway. So why is she making such a big deal out of walking? And oh, yeah, I mean, walking is good for you. You want to walk off those extra pounds from dinner. Like, he already lost his mind. Like he forgot why he showed up to apologize, right? So my question is, because I hear this all the time. Like, oh, it's meal plan. Da, da, da. Y'all, is he wrong or is she wrong? Who's wrong? I think he's dead ass wrong. That's me. I think he's wrong.
I think he's wrong too, and I'm gonna tell you why before we get too sharp. I have a
Oh.
similar story to that. When
Mhm.
I was young, I was 17 years old, and I remember I was working, I was a cashier, and I had a customer who used to always come in the store, and he was cool, we talked, we laughed. So one night I was getting off late, he was like, "Hey, let me take you home." I said, "Okay, sure." So I get in the car. I trusted him at this point, but he starts going the opposite way from what I told him, where I told him I live at. So I'm like, "Hey, where you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to my place." I'm like, "Oh no, I gotta go home. It's late." And plus, I was in a relationship. I wasn't trying to go home with this man. And he kicked me out the car. He made me walk home. And I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. But karma came his way because one day me and my boyfriend, we was getting on a bus. We remember we were young, we didn't have a car at the time. Guess who was on the bus? He was on the bus for whatever reason. My boyfriend at the time beat his right on a bus. So that was the karma. So yeah, this is a thing. This is something that happens when a woman is not trying to give it up. I don't know if any of you ladies had any similar situations to that.
I don't know. I feel like Char's always the one breaking up with folks. So I don't know. Let's see. Char, what do you have to say
Har,
about
har,
all this?
har, har. Greetings.
You there,
Can,
Shar?
can you hear me?
You're very
You're very
quiet.
low. Yeah, you're very, very low.
What about now? Testing, testing, one, two, three.
You're
Uh,
clear but still low. It's weird, but
Very
I don't
low.
know.
Yeah.
We can hear you
Okay, is
ish.
that a little bit louder or no?
That's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Um, hello, greetings.
Greeting.
Hi. Greetings.
I don't have any stories to share. I was just going to say, from what you played, there was no coming back. I mean, he showed her who he was, and
Mhm.
I don't even know why it was a part two, but that's her decision. Okay, fine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If he asked her out, why is she paying for gas and all that? That's
Mhm.
another thing.
Mm.
If he says, "Hey, my check didn't come through," then you just reschedule. Say, "Well, that's okay. If you want to get together later, that's fine. I'm going to go this way because I got to do this anyway," and move on. That way, you'll see if the guy is at least serious. But that was
Mhm.
a shame, the walking and all that. But he would have been blocked and all that good stuff after I got home,
Oh yeah,
wherever I
Right.
was.
definitely. That's the end of him. After that,
Mhm.
that's it.
That's so crazy. You know what this reminds me of, Char? Now that as soon as you started talking, I started thinking about that letter you received. Um, it was
Oh
some
man.
woman. I don't know if it was a letter or I don't know, but I know it was for sure on your Friday show, and we're talking about it, and it was like a woman, and like she ended up paying like everything, but she found out last second she was paying for things. Like they would walk up to the counter, then he'd order his food and be like, "Oh, I forgot my wallet at home," and then made her pick him up, made her pay for gas, made her pay for the meal, and then she ended up having to like drive him home. It was like, do you remember that? I remember that.
Yes, yes, yeah, and
Okay.
actually, that was a letter,
Hmm.
and right now she just so happened to be she is engaged right now,
Mm.
Oh,
but she just met
okay.
him. She just met him though.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, see, that's good. Well, at least it was not to the other guy. At least it wasn't to him, right? I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, so more power to her. She's still struggling in the dating world, but people make their decisions and they have to live with it. You can just ask me, and I can, you know, throw around a few ideas, and what you choose to do is what you choose to do.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Very true. And I mean, hey, y'all, if y'all want to know, I said a letter. Y'all don't know. Shar answers, she gives out advice. She makes it completely anonymous. Even though I'm co hosting, I don't even know. So y'all could write into her, just as Shar at gmail.com. And we will answer your question anonymously so you don't have to take direct shame on your name. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
But
that's dope.
yeah,
Okay. Okay, okay.
it's pretty
All right.
cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Don Teasy said, yeah, we know how you roll, Shar.
I'm just
We
saying.
know how you roll.
Shar has a
Yeah,
lot of breakup stories. I
yeah,
just put
I
it
do.
that
Mhm.
way.
I'm
Yeah.
guilty. I'm guilty. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shar don't play that foolishness. Okay, that's why I was like, I don't think this ever
Mm-mm.
happened to Shar. But let's double check. Shar, has this ever happened to you?
Ever.
Ever?
Mm, I remember as far as borrowing money, but that's about it. But I sued the guy, so I got it back.
See,
But you
Shar don't play.
Nah, she don't. She got the tough skin. But what I'm saying is, Shar, like no man have ever asked you to come home with him and you said no and he acted funny. He didn't have to necessarily kick you out of the car, but did he act funny towards you
Mm,
or disrespect you? Anything like
Tell you to
that?
find your own way home. Something.
Right. Anything.
no, no, I never was in that situation. No.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you.
Me either. I was like, I don't know. Like, I thought maybe okay, maybe it's an American, but no, because I'm like, even the guys that I dated in America, it's never been a situation that has happened to me. Thank God. I'm happy it's never happened to me. It's never happened to me
Well,
either.
listen, maybe that's a Jersey thing. I don't know. I don't know. You never know.
Well, thank
All
you so
right.
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank
calling
you,
in, Shar.
Sean.
Always a pleasure.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you. I think
All
we
right.
have another person. I think Jerron and Al called back in for this topic. Who you want to bring up first?
Oh,
Al or
Jerron was
Jerron?
next because he was here first in the back.
Jerron
So,
was next. Okay, so let's bring him up. Hi, Jerron.
hey,
Hey, I'm
Jerron.
back. How y'all
He's
doing
up already.
again? Huh? I don't know. I just popped up.
Hey,
Um,
what's your take
I,
on
I
this?
agree. I agree with you ladies. The brother, he was wrong.
Mhm.
And this is just, the point of these, this Kevins and the alpha males. This is what they talking about. Life is more than just sex. If
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're trying to get out of it, then you need to be doing something else. So obviously, from my perspective, my personal experience, I would never leave somebody like that because there are a lot of crazy people out here, and that blood is going to be on your hands because you left her.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
so I would never do that. I'll always make sure the person makes it home safe, regardless. I mean, it's a different prerogative if they say, you know what, I'm gonna just call the Uber, blah blah blah. Okay, that's fine. But if she's entrusting me to take her back home, that's what I'm gonna do. So
Right.
it
Especially
is
you
one
pick
of those.
somebody up, right, Jerron?
Say again.
I said, especially when you pick someone up from their home, it's your responsibility to make sure they get home safely.
Right, because you have to think this girl, she probably didn't texted her mom or brother, hey, I'm out with such such, if anything were to happen to me. So if that situation went the way it went
Mm.
and she walking and she get kidnapped, went in one of these organ trafficking rings or sex trafficking rings,
Mm,
or, whatever, got raped and burned up, that blood is on his hands because you're the
great
last person
point.
that saw it. So now you're being questioned. So, fellas got to think logically about what they're doing. They got to be smart that, hey, this person got a family too. If that was me, I wouldn't want somebody to just leave me on the side of the road and I got to walk. That's crazy.
Right.
So, folks got to think about what they're doing. And, I respect her for, fronting the money to pay for the date or whatever. That's admirable. But, I would have just put that on the back burner. I would have just pushed it to another week. I'm like, hey, you just gonna push it back because ain't no point in you going out if you ain't got no money.
Mhm.
Right.
Might as well stay home.
Exactly. And you know what? As a young lady, when I was young, like her age, like 17, 18, 19, my mom used to always tell me, even if a man is paying for your date, always have extra money on you, just in case you have to take a, Uber home, just in case you have to do this or that. At the time, I don't think Uber was out, but if you have to take a cab home or if you have to, do anything, make sure you have extra money. And these young girls these days, they don't have money. They're depending on the man. So, yeah, that's really dangerous. What do you think?
It's just a bad. It's a bad. We're in a time where the generations that the generation coming up is really mixed up with priorities. Women, they learn
Yeah.
early that the PUSSY has power, and they
Mhm.
use and abuse that against the
Facts.
male ego because men, a lot of them, that's all they really thinking about anyway. But is that worth you getting killed over? If something crazy go down, you
Mhm.
can't. People got to understand that what you say and what you do, they do have consequences. She might have said that, and dude might have flipped out, kidnapped her anyway, raped her anyway, and then killed her.
Mm.
So people got to think about that.
Hmm.
You're right about that.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought up the self-preservation angle because people need to think about those things more often. You might be thinking about preserving your ego in the moment, but think about what happens if you're the last known person to have seen this woman, you a black man, and then that woman disappears, and you're trying to tell everyone it's not your fault, and it's really not, but who's gonna believe you? So you make sure people get home safe, and then that way you can
Hmm.
say, no, I saw them go into their building. There's a camera right there. Everything was good. Y'all can
Mhm.
see me drive away, arrive in my house 5 minutes later. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you are, CYA. That's what I gotta say about that. Do you have anything else to say before we jump over to Al and then bring on the main events?
No, that was
Ooh.
it for me.
Okay. All
Okay, thank
right.
you. And
Thank
yes,
you so
please
much.
say grape, guys. If you guys have to substitute a word, please do it. Ruby and I don't want our platform taken down.
At
Please
all. At all.
substitute words. Thank
And we
you.
don't want to be demonetized. We already got demonetized last week, which we got to fight right now. So
Yes.
please. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
All right, Al.
you have to be careful on the free speech platform. That is YouTube.
Mhm.
I always
Absolutely.
get a good
True
laugh
fact.
out of that. Um, I can't say too much more because I'm new to YouTube in terms of a channel. So I
Mhm.
can't be too critical of YouTube or those
Do you
or
have anything to say
strange
about
things might
the
happen.
topic, though?
I guess you were mentioning that you had a date once, and the date left you stranded. Is that right?
That was the video
Well,
we watched. Yeah.
yeah, the video. Are you
Oh,
talking about what I said, my story, or are you talking about the video?
yeah, I think your story, because I
My
was
story was
overhearing
a little
something.
different. Yeah, I was young. I had no way to get home, and an older guy was supposed to take me home, and instead he left me stranded because I didn't go home with him. So, what are your thoughts on that first?
Well, right off the bat, that's it's pretty straightforward. You're looking to go home, but you're not looking to go home with him. So
Right.
logically, I mean, first of all, you have to, how do I put this in a way that people will understand? Um, Here's the problem that I think a number of women face is you unfortunately have people who, I guess it's the way men look at women. That's something that I've noticed, especially online of late. When I first got on Facebook, when I first got on Twitter, but primarily Facebook, I was kind of
Mhm.
taken aback by the way men talk to women. A lot of men talk to women there. One, of course, because it's the internet and you can supposedly be free with your speech. Um, but there was this, it's almost like, this is what I say about social media. It's like a lie detector. It's like truth serum. It exposes what individuals really are about and how they really think. And so in your circumstance, that's different. You're not on social media. This is actual real life. I mean, not real life, but this is the carbon based world as opposed to the digital world. Um, but you're dealing with a guy, and I guess there are always guys like that, right? They
Mhm.
want something, and they'll give you something. And that's unfortunately how a number of men have been brought.
You're Borgin. Um,
It's based
is it
on
me or you Borgin?
reciprocity.
You borged out. I'm sorry, Al. You borged out. Can you repeat that?
What I was saying was it's based on what these guys, like the guy across, he's looking at it
Al, you're borging really bad,
in
hun.
his version of reciprocity, right? And there are a
Hmm.
number of guys like that. It for them, I don't know.
Yeah. Facts. These
I,
men, you're right. Some of them do want something in return. I'm sorry, was you still talking? Because you're like in and out. We can't really
Yeah,
understand what
you're
you're
borging
saying.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I think what we're gonna do, we'll put you in the back for now so you can sort that out because we got to move on to the main event. Okay.
Well, we
I
have
know a lot
two
of
more
y'all.
callers. We have two
I
more callers in the back.
I think that they came to speak on the main event just because they came up right as we said it. But I don't know. I mean, I was asking them if they came to speak on dating or on the main event. But they didn't answer. Now y'all can hear me type in the private chat which one you want to talk on because I think they want to speak on the main event because we said after Al's done we're gonna move on to the main event. So I don't know. I can't
Okay,
tell.
well, yeah, well, I
Well,
guess we can move on to the main event where everybody was waiting for. Drum
I
roll.
mean, that's what I was gonna say. We all know they wanted to move on to this topic anyway. Let's
Right,
be real, okay?
right.
We know you guys, okay?
Let's get it. Let's let them on now while we watch it. Oh, everybody's waiting. Ooh, let's let them
Yep.
on. Add to stream. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. So here's the thing now. I absolutely we're gonna be looking at a variety of photos of Gabourey Sidibe in her bridal best because she was featured on Brides. So that's what we're gonna be watching. Just so y'all know. Here you go. Here you go.
Oh,
Look
that's
how
nice.
beautiful she looks in her gown. Look at that.
I think that's very beautiful. Now she says she didn't want to be a traditional bride, right? So she is
Mhm.
gonna plan on be like wearing a red dress, but they do show her in other colors and stuff later. But I think this is gorgeous. I like the Africana.
I
So
do too. And she's in her man also looks gorgeous, by the way. I love
so
the tux.
I mean, he looks
Mhm.
young and tiny. Melody, tell us what we talking about today. Why is this poor woman up on our panel about to get discussed? What's happening?
Okay. Okay. So we thought it would be a good idea to talk about this because there's several red pill things going on. First of all, she's a divester. She got her a nice, young, handsome white man.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she is way overweight. And guess what? Somebody wanted her. And
Mm-hmm.
she's getting married. People say, oh, you can't marry if you look like that. You can't get married because what do they say? Like 40% of black women get married or something like that. And you can't get married if you look like that. You got to be fit. You got to be in shape and feminine or whatever, whatever. But look at Gabby. She's everything you guys say you shouldn't be to get married. So we want to know your opinion on this, guys. What do you think about this whole situation?
Did you talk about the fact that she's 39 years old? Did you
Oh, I'm
talk about
sorry.
that?
And she's older. She's 39 years old. That's another factor. So she's 39. She's what, a geriatric bride, as you guys would say. She's overweight.
Mm-hmm.
She probably can't have children, as you guys say, because she's past the wall. Um, yeah, so let's talk about that. And
Yeah,
exactly, Jordan. Congratulations to her. But
absolutely.
what is your take on that, Ruby?
Well, I will say this. I mean, my experience told me that none of the above are barriers to entry for getting any man really. Actually, what I always kind of saw was the example was that ultimately, if you can a correctly cater to a man's wants, needs, and ego, you're pretty much good to go as a woman. And so that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how overweight you are or how old you are. Um, at the end of the day, especially if you've got money, because if you got money, man, Janet Jackson, how many old people in their early 50s now are carrying twins and singles and Beyonce? I mean, if you have money, that's not a barrier to reproduction. So then, well, you've got just the age as you get older, you look older, and being morbidly obese. And if that was really stopping people from being married, what we would see then is that everybody who's unmarried would be obese and older. And that's not the case. There's a lot of people who are both obese, morbidly obese, super morbidly obese. Most of the people on that 600-pound life show are married.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. And a lot of old people get married all the time. My mom was like 42 when she got married again, right? Kevin Samuel, since we brought him up earlier, his mom was 51 when she got married again. A lot of old people are getting married. Once they figure it out,
Right.
they get their
And
good man and they're good to go.
well, real quick, these nuts. He says nobody wants Lizzo. That's not true. Look, Gabby and Lizzo are like the same type of person. Somebody wanted her.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanted Lonnie Love.
Right.
So you know.
He looks very wanted here. Look at that. Look at that. He can't help but want to eat her all up. I'm just saying. Um, you know what, Melody? I was wrong and you were right. So Leo did want to talk about the dating thing. So I think we should pass it over to Leo if he wants to talk about dating, or Gabby, or both. You should be able to do that because you did call in on time. I just read the situation wrong. I apologize. I do.
Right. So let's talk about whatever you want because this is the open panel. So you said you want to talk about the relationship. So let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hi.
Oh, hey Melody, hey Ruby, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, no problem. Um, I did not realize some dudes just had like, and I don't want to turn it into like the game versus non-game dudes type war, but yeah, I thought it was uncalled for because it was like dude took her out. He didn't even pay for the date, right? He just met her up at the place that they was gonna eat and
Facts.
just wanted her to come home with him because he showed up. Um, Now I understand why you have dating coaches and dating gurus because I guess some guys don't get it. Um, I always I I always never had those problems because one, I would always ask the chick that I already knew kind of found me attractive. I always felt like it was a waste of time asking a chick out that didn't find you attractive. The date is not going to make her be more physically attracted to you, so it's a waste of time. She's just going to use you for a free meal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then as far as like the date itself, most of the time what I would do is I would, just try to look my best, smell nice, and just have like, a nice long conversation. Like I always used to take them somewhere, maybe to the park, or we just sit in my car and we just talk. And normally that alone kind of like got me in there. So I'm just like surprised that there's like so many dudes that just don't know that. Um,
Hmm.
like I always, the best way to get pussy is to act like you don't need it or
Want
want
it?
it bad.
Yep.
Just don't act too
Hmm.
thirsty about it. Like as
Yeah.
long as I feel confident that I can get it, um, even if I don't get it on the first day, as long as I feel like there's some sexual tension there, I'm good. Because I know probably the next time I see you, it'll happen. So I don't know.
Absolutely. You made a great point. And all women feel like that. Whether you know it or not, the secret is out. If you are on a date and you don't beast over the chick and try to touch all over her and try to get kisses, that's gonna make her more attracted to you. believe it or not, because even me, that's sexy to me when a man is not all over me. Because a majority of the time, men are all over attractive women. But if he's just like, nah, I'm good, like, it just makes you, I hate to say it, but wet. you know, that's what it does. It makes the woman wet and it makes her wonder, I wonder what it's like. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're right on point with that.
yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
surprised some dudes don't know that.
Right.
But as far as like the main topic, I agree with Classic Ruby. It is possible, even if you are, what, 35 plus as a woman, to still get married. My aunt got married at 52. My mother got married at 55. They weren't high value man, but there's somebody for everybody. Um, so, I still think it's possible. I do think with this particular situation, um, money helped out a lot. But either way, I'm glad that she found somebody that claims her and she can show off. So, I'm not mad at that. I just hope that um, some women won't, kind of get delusional with this and think, they can repeat the same thing. I think with this situation is pretty unique and special.
Right. It's a one off because she has money. First of
Yeah,
all, she's
like
famous.
I honestly believe it's because mostly she has money. So
Facts.
Well, hold on. I want to read Complex Easy's super chat. So let's do that first. Complex Easy, $10. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. And he says there's a brain eating parasite that has a 97% survival rate. Only 4 people survive. What I'm trying to say is everything has an outlier. And this is it for the Manosphere talk. Here's the thing,
yeah,
if this was really an outlier, we wouldn't be able to find so many examples. And the fact is, you actually really can. I mean, all you have to do is walk outside of your door, right?
but no,
If you have like 70% of the Black community is overweight, right? I will bet that
Wait, I'm sorry.
over
Can you guys
50%.
mute up? I can't hear Ruby. There's a really bad echo. Please mute up while she's talking. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Yeah. But if there is therefore so like 70% of the Black community is overweight, right? I am pretty positive, right, that we're not talking about the youngest, hottest part of the generation that is all overweight. And no, but all the married people, they're all slim. No, of course they're not, right? If you go look at a lot of these married people, they were overweight before they got married. They got more overweight after they got married. But overweightness didn't block them from getting married. So if you're going to say, well, it's because Gabby had money, well, here's the problem, right? The Manosphere says men don't care about your money. They don't care how much money you make. You can make millions of dollars a night. They don't care. They don't care about your money. Well, you gotta choose a struggle, guys. Either it's because she has money, or men don't care about money. But it can't be both. That's what I have to say about it.
can I interject?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Anyone can interject. Go ahead.
Um, I think that's why I said this is an outlier situation. Because I don't normally see like an obese black woman to a like successful white guy, unless it's like a particular case, like the woman has like a whole lot of money, and maybe the man just wants the money and he's just playing along. And I've also seen money can help unattractive women to some extent, because they'll buy, right? They'll buy an attractive man. They'll pay for it. They'll trick on attractive men. I
Hmm.
see it all the time with like young boys that they're paying to give them the D, or paying them to be their little boyfriend. So that does happen, but that's not necessarily the man they want. But if you just want to have a man to have a man, yes, you could use money if you are a woman to get a man.
I mean, yeah, I guess you have a point there. You could use, if you are overweight, that's probably the only way you can get a man is if you have
Yeah,
money.
like if
But
you are
if,
an unattractive woman
right,
and you
that's
don't
true.
want, you can't use your beauty or your body, the last thing you have is money that you could kind of use to get a man. But
That's facts.
And
yeah,
that might not even work.
Y'all don't know
yeah,
any fat, ugly
what's
people
that?
who are married? Because I do.
I
And
No,
they
do
were
too,
fat
but
and
they're
ugly
not
when they got
married.
married.
Right, but they're not married to like thinner men, or they're not married to like white men, thin white men. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know both.
no, but
You know
sometimes
both?
they're not
Hmm.
like the man that they actually want. They just kind of like settled for like whoever would have them. So I've seen that too.
You know
Yeah.
what the funny thing is? I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. Beautiful women, this is just in my experience, beautiful women are more willing to settle for ain't shitness than these overweight, ugly women. And maybe it's because life had to make them tougher and had to make them just care more about their self-esteem and know for sure that no one is, they can take it for granted that people will like love them or respect them or whatever. But I'm just saying, it might have been true, maybe 30, 40 years ago, but it's not true now. What's true now, what you see is that women who are overweight, obese, morbidly obese, right? They have these massive amounts of self-confidence, right? And these massive amounts of, yeah, okay, somewhat entitlement. I agree with that there. But still what it comes down to is that's based on the reality that not only are they, yeah, they're getting shame slept with, and no one will, no, they're getting boyfriends, they're getting engagements, they're getting husbands, they're getting affairs while they're with their husband, they're getting husbands who take them back after the affair. So I mean, on one side, I do think that there's a segment of guys who are like, nah, that's not for me. But let's be real, for the guys, there are guys, and I will say honestly, I do believe it's at least 50%, if not more, of the population who are not writing women off because they are fat or ugly.
Well,
I'm being real.
Kobe, I would say some guys do genuinely like big women like that. So I won't argue with you there.
Mm.
But some guys,
Especially in the South.
right? But some guys only get with big women because that's literally the best they can do, and they know it. So
Well, and that's another thing to look at. This is the unfortunate for men, right? Just because you make the money doesn't mean that your confidence automatically gets boosted. You might have a low self-esteem and be a multimillionaire who's super powerful in business, but has zero confidence with women.
but you can still get an attractive woman. Like you can just buy one. If even if you're so it's different from men. So if you're a
Not all
man
men want that. Some men want burning desire. I heard Fresh say it directly out of his own mouth. He wants burning desire.
well,
Um,
no, but if you're talking about like lust and genuine love,
Good
you
luck.
can't get that with money. But if you're just talking about beauty and just sex, like you can get that if you're a man with money, even if you're not attractive. Um, so I think
y'all really downplay the use of social skills because it's short of you being a man, because not every man is comfortable with this idea of buying women or buying sex or whatever. Some men really aren't comfortable with that idea. They think it makes them lame. So
no, I understand that, but that's why I don't agree with leading with your wallet because you don't want that woman. Well, I wouldn't want a woman just to want me for my money, right? I would want her to want me for me or off the strength of me, something, my looks, personality, charm, something that's tied to me and only me. Um, but some men, they don't have game, they don't have looks. So again, they depend on money to kind of get the woman they want. But at least with them, they can at least get an attractive woman, but not necessarily get her to really like him for him. So it's kind of like a messed up trade off.
It's not only about the money when it comes to what a woman needs. I mean, she just needs a leader, somebody who can provide, somebody who can lead. And she's going to be submissive to that man. And it's not necessarily about the looks with women. Like
who is that? I
women,
think it's
we
Leo.
don't
Leo,
go.
you need to mute.
Yeah, please mute when we talk. Um, we don't usually pick men for their looks, women. I mean, there's some that do, but usually it's not
I
looks.
do.
You guys pick us for looks, for our beauty, for our femininity, for our submissiveness. That's what you guys pick us for. We pick, and I'm not going to say we pick for money, but you do have to be able to lead and provide. And part of providing is being able to make sure we're good financially. So yeah, it is important for a man to, be able to financially support a woman.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's very important.
Let's read the super
Okay,
chat from
I was
Complex
gonna say
Easy.
that.
Right? Yeah, because I want to highlight what Prime VA said, but I'm like, I don't want to lose the super chat. So, Complex Easy, thank you very much again.
Thank
Damn, this is like a triple.
you. I
What
think
do they
it's
call this? Triple hat?
yeah, he's
Hat
doing a
trick.
great
That's what it's called.
job.
Hat trick. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, he said, "Are there more people like her, married or single?" Yeah, there are. Actually, they've even done articles on very wealthy, very attractive, very powerful celebrity men and rich men and whatever who prefer overweight women. Like there's literally articles. You can just Google it. Like it's, I mean, as much as we would like to think that it should logically follow that if you are, the most wealthy, powerful kind of guy, and so all of your options are open, that what you would choose would be the youngest, hottest, most feminine,
Sexiest
most submissive.
child.
Yeah, that you could pick. But here's the thing, attractiveness, right? And this is where subjectiveness comes in, right? Because as much as I can't see why a super roly poly woman is super attractive, right? Some guys prefer that. I have been turned down. I've literally been shot down by men for
You
being
can
too
turn
thin
it down,
before I was
really?
thin. Yep, before I was even I had been shot down, guys saying like I need to put some meat on my bones, maybe about 50, 60 pounds. I have had that,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, more predominantly by American men, but it's happened with some Jamaican men too, where I've been told I'm too skinny. They like some meat
Mm-hmm.
on the bones. They don't mean meat, they meant layers of fat that I didn't have. That's just what it is. Some guys like that. Some
Yeah.
and when you have a lot of money and power, then you're able to acquire what you want, right? Not what everyone thinks you should want, but what you actually want, which might be a really
Mm-hmm.
rotund woman, right?
I disagree. I don't really see any high value men with money, famous rich men with women who look like that. Usually those men get Kim Kardashians and, bad chicks. Look at the basketball players, look at the football players, look at the rappers, look at the type of women they're getting. They're not getting Lizzos, they're not getting Gabby Sidibe's. They're getting literally women who look like Lori Harvey. This is what they're getting. And if you notice, women don't get surgery. They don't go under the knife and get surgery to look like Gabby Sidibe and Lizzo. They go under the knife and get surgery to look like Kim Kardashian, to look like Lori Harvey, people like that. So I don't think any man with money want a woman who
No, but
look
that's
like
not
that.
true. Melody, how are you going to use that as an example when we know black women will put a whole bunch of silky weave in their hair? And back in the 90s, I don't know if you were too young, but back in the early 90s, black women did not like their booties, even though black men always did. And black women don't like their natural hair, even though black men always did. So let's not get it twisted. Women aren't necessarily doing things because of what men want or like or whatever, right? So just because women are looking at the Gabby, see, this is the problem with women. Women are a bunch of hypocrites because women will sit there, right, and say that all women are beautiful and men, you're horrible and you're misogynist because you won't date this kind of woman and that kind of woman. But as you rightfully said, they're not trying to look like those women, right? There is a standard of beauty that they are also upholding, and they're upholding it way more than the men really are. They are literally
Right.
saying that even though men should say Gabby is attractive and beautiful and whatever, right? They are saying when they start looking like Gabby, they go into a surgeon and say, "I want to look like Kim Kardashian," right? Like that's what it is. Right? It's not because of what the men are necessarily responding to or not. It has to do with what they're idol worshiping
Yeah,
at the
but
time.
nobody, let's
What I
keep it
would,
real. Nobody wants Gabby Sidibe.
I
But
see
before
that
we
because
move
that's the
on, let me just
outlier.
read the super chat from Complex Easy. Thank you so much again for being so
Yes,
supportive of
love
Ruby and
you.
I.
Thank
We
you.
love you. He says, Ruby, hit me up when Elon Musk is with a BBW.
Facts. Will
Exactly.
do, sir. Will
Fact.
do.
Because
We'll
you'll
do a
never
stream just for
see
you.
him with a BBW, okay? So. But yeah,
All right.
so we have people on the panel. Let's get to everybody. I think
Mm-hmm.
Mel next or was Blue
Mhm.
next? I think Mel was next and then Blue. Okay, Mel. So what's on your mind?
well, you trying to, Ruby, what you trying to say? You make it sound like you trying to say a large percentage of dudes want big girls like that are successful. It is not. It's a very small percentage. I'm saying this example right here, but this white dude, despite he has all the money, he probably could get with certain chicks, but he probably doesn't want to pay for it. So he probably knows his lane and stuff like that. Let me give it someone that's not so highly attractive and things. And unfortunately, he got with this chick. Of course, I don't know what's her preference. I don't want to say she's the best though, but I guess she probably see where she fit in also too. She happen to like a dude, but you know what? I might not be able to get the hottest guy, so I'm gonna give it someone that got a good heart and everything established. He just happened to be white and stuff. So they gotta know where their lane fits in also too with that also too. So, but you also mentioned earlier. I was just earlier about men talking about the marriage field. What would you say? Men give a big girl something like that a success. No money. Um, depends on certain type of men. They're talking about the well-established, successful dudes. Those type of dudes don't care about a woman's money. If she's a millionaire, because most of the time he's making twice as much as she is. He worry about his outcome. But if he's dealing with a dude that's made below 6 figures, of course that's a dude that cares about a woman's money and everything. So yeah, so it depends on how much income that man has. Yeah, he's not going to care if he makes a certain amount if he's in the upper class, but if he's part of the middle and lower class, yeah, those dudes always going to care about woman's money. Period.
Now, when you say care, though, do you mean that they'll care as in a woman's making more money will make her more attractive or less attractive?
Um, Technically, they make them more attractive to them because
Hmm.
remember, like in the old, remember back we mentioned about the no, not the '90s. What was that Neo song? Independent Woman and stuff. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Char hates that song. I know
mhm,
exactly what you're talking about. She
exactly.
got her
Like
own. She's got
God,
her
it's that.
own. Yep.
No, that wasn't it. No. It was different. No, it's independent woman, but that's not what you say. That's a
That
different
that is
song.
that.
No,
Well,
that's a different
that's
song.
by
Yeah.
Neo. I'm pretty sure that's by Neo, isn't it? That she got her
Yeah,
own
he
song.
said no, that's one of them. Yeah, that's the one you sang is not the independent woman song.
But
No.
that's Jamie. That's ain't that Jamie Foxx?
Is
Love
it?
because
Yeah,
she
yeah,
got it
that was
home.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just saying you. Yeah,
Oh.
I
Okay.
got
Hold
it.
on.
the
Yeah,
one.
Well,
yeah.
I know Char hates that song. I don't know. Neo, independent woman. I'm gonna look it up. I'm
I
gonna look
can't
it
know
up
the
while you're
lyrics,
talking. Go
y'all.
ahead.
So, yeah, but yeah, all them songs. Yeah, I mean, funny how you mentioned that. Yeah, like dudes are really like independent women and got own money like that. Like they in their vision, they probably see like a bad looking chick that probably like got her own that way, and he feel like either he could feel like he could bring something that they could build together that way, or I hate to say this, homosexuals. He feel like he hit the jackpot with on because she's making more money than he is, so he's gonna live off of her. So those type of dudes that find those type of women fully highly attractive, and in their mind they see someone like um a Laura Harvey, you know what I'm saying, beautiful type, Chloe Bailey type that got more money than they do. So of course, they're gonna feel like they hit the jackpot. Of course, they ain't gonna care he got money because he's gonna live off of her, or he gonna feel like he can bring something to the table. That 50-50 relationship type. That's what I bring something. She brings something. She happened to be a very attractive woman, and she got dough and everything. Yeah, but dudes that well established and they're millionaires and everything, big time businessmen, they don't care about women's money at all. Period. I mean,
No,
matter of fact, if you see most multimillionaire women that remarry, they remarry the men that make less than they do, but they know they make so much money they have to settle. Look at Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. She had to remarry a science teacher, but she's one of the richest women in the U.S. She had to make a deal that makes technically in a way makes sense in a way because
Hold up. Hold
you
up.
know
What is she doing, man? Oh my God.
oh, you see them arms?
She's
Those arms are
dancing.
just shaking. Yes.
well,
She's
matter
Go,
of
living
fact,
Gabby.
her
Go, Gabby. Go, Gabby.
I would have bet you. I would have bet you double. What's her name? That's Komora Lee. I don't know why she's still using Simmons, but yeah, she remarried a lawyer. They both millionaires, but she makes more money than he does. But she knows, she know her status and probably her lane. Look, she's not gonna get with a guy that's gonna, take that's a multi-billionaire 3 times more money than she is. She knows that, so she has to make a deal that makes sense. He's a millionaire, but I still got millions more than he does. So, I think a
All
nuance
Hey
in
right.
man,
Well,
Mel, you stole my thunder, man.
that.
well, let's read the super chat and then you can go next, okay?
Go ahead, brother.
So
Thank
we've
you,
got
Leo.
Leo. Thank you so much, Leo. Thank you for being in, calling in. Sorry, I will make sure that we don't miss you next time. And so he says, thanks for having me. And for any newcomers, hit the like button
Hit
and
the like
subscribe.
button. Please hit the like button. That's very important for the algorithm, guys. Hit the like button right now. Hit it. Thank
Yes.
you, Leo.
Thank you. All right. So who's up next? Uncle D's Mini Me? That's your name today?
Hey, yeah, that's my name today.
Okay, go
Hey,
ahead.
like I said, man, if Melody, Ruby's ready for this smoke every show. I tell you what,
Oh,
and I'm here to come and bring the smoke.
okay.
So first of all, I want to say congratulations to this lady. She did what many men did who Kevin didn't talk about. I think a lot of women who just don't listen to all of his shows in the 4 years of when he spoke to the men, they listen to clips and then they compare it with other people like Fresh and Fit who we do not align with. And then you mix up other clips with our thoughts and our we just don't it's not it's disingenuous to what we think here and what we're trying to do here with black male media, ma'am. So I'll just say congratulations to Mr. B. And no, we don't think like half of the ways that you mentioned here on the panel, Ruby. And I'll stand by each one of those things you said and say where you were, where we don't think that way. And I don't know where you got that from. So I, for myself, I know I'm average. I make below 35K. Kevin was not talking about us. He was not talking about us when men have options. He was not talking about us of why men can use the option to cheat. He was not speaking to low income men. We are average and we know our lane. I have dated 3 pregnant women in 5 years. Each one of them have a kid and I gave them a chance. Guess why? That is my lane, probably. Am I saying I can't get better? Am I egotistical to think I can't? I have to do the work. He taught us that for 4 years, 60 hours. Clean your butt. Make sure you're clean. Make sure you're dressed nice. All of these things. Get up above the income that you can take care of everything. But you didn't hear those parts. You heard like our entitlement and somehow the somehow the 1 out of 10 happens where a big girl can get a high value man. He's not even speaking about the men here, because most of the men here in the manosphere are not high value
Why
men.
are you talking about
So we
Kevin
need to,
Samuels? I'm just
because
wondering.
this is the show where it won't be repeated. Because Kevin said, that, but I know
But
this.
we didn't mention
He's
Kevin Samuels
speaking.
at all. This isn't about Kevin Samuels or his rhetoric at all.
Oh, but you mentioned it like we think like this over here. That's what happens when you're on other panels bashing him, and then you come over here.
She
When was
never
I on
bad
other
Because I
Kevin
panels
did.
bashing
Samuel.
him?
She
When
ain't
did
never
that
bad Kevin
happen?
I
Samuel.
Right.
all I'll say is this:
When did that
many
happen?
things that you said, many things that you said with other podcasts, we don't think that
Like
way
what?
over here.
Like what?
Uh, you said some things relating to Fresh and Fit. We
Like
don't
what?
think that way. That's those
Like what?
guys.
Like
You
what?
said some things. You said some things relative to things that we just don't do or think that way in the
No,
manosphere,
sir.
and
Be
that's
specific.
disingenuous.
How
But
you?
that's
But you
disin.
can't say you can't. But
I,
you
I,
can't just speak vaguely. Say something specific.
but
That's
I'll just
bad,
say
dude.
those things that you mentioned about that
Like what?
podcast, the other part. I don't want to take that away. I want to celebrate Miss City B, and I just want to say, don't be disingenuous
So
and
you
bring
actually have
that to
no
the
idea what you're
channel.
talking about at all,
We
and you don't
here
actually
in the
have a point.
comments are in the manosphere. We here are not Fresh and Fit. We are not those
Okay.
incel clowns
Dude,
who
she
seek
never
out
went
women
to
to
Fresh and
harm
Fit
them.
either. How do you know she?
Let him
Right.
continue, Mel.
No,
I
I
want to
heard
hear
it.
what he's
I heard
saying.
it. No, I heard it. I heard it. We can rewind it. We can
When?
play it back.
Yeah,
But
rewind it.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
want to. I
Dude,
don't
we
want
will
to
wait for
cause
you.
strife. I just
You go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, no,
It's
no.
not strife
I
at all.
said
Go
my
ahead.
point.
No, go
I'll
ahead. You
I'll
gotta back
I'll
up your
go back
facts.
into the comments.
Go
You
No,
got to
ahead.
no,
back
no.
it
We'll
Go
up.
ahead.
rewind.
By all
We
means,
could
we're
rewind the
waiting.
stream.
You got to back it
No,
up.
no.
You do
We
it.
gotta
You
rewind.
said it.
We
You
could
see what
rewind the
time it is,
stream.
man.
I
I'm another
Right.
mentioned
content
it.
creator.
It
Rewind
was
You
it.
gotta
Fre-
prove it.
she's fresh and
We will
fit.
let you
I
play.
said it.
You
You
give
don't
me the
think?
minute marker.
You
I'll
said
play it.
it.
Go
Now
ahead.
you got to prove it.
Hold
Back up
on,
your argument.
I didn't hear her say anything about fresh and fit. Yes, we were talking about Kevin Samuel's tattoos. We did mention Kevin. We never mentioned fresh and fit. When did she
Actually, no,
say
I did.
that?
I literally said
The
that
talking
Fresh
points.
said, excuse me,
The
I literally
talking
said,
points. Yes.
I literally said that Fresh said, right, that he wants
Thank you.
burning desire,
Oh,
so
you did.
therefore he don't pay for poon, right? And
Thank
that's
you.
because he said it. So I literally said what Fresh said,
But
and that a lot of
exactly
people,
as though,
that his
uh,
followers, agree
yeah,
with. The
and
guys
then
who
you would
do not
mix that
agree
in with
with paying
Kevin.
for,
Yes, you'd
see,
mix
but
us
I
right
didn't
in
mix
with
in with
that. Don't
anything.
do
You're
that though.
mixing in. See, the problem is that
But
you're
most of, and
mixing
that's
in.
why I told you Kevin are not speaking about most of us because we
Yeah,
make
but
under
I'm not. But who's
30K,
talking about
and you won't
Kevin?
date us because we make that low.
But
That's
who's
the
talking
whole
about
thing.
Kevin?
So
First of
we
all,
know
second of
we're
all,
No.
average
no,
and
I
we
won't
know
date you
our
because I'm
lane.
married. So
But that's what I'm
my
saying.
husband would object to
But
me
we know
dating.
our, therefore
And
we
I
know
Yeah.
our
know
lane. That's what
dudes
I'm
that make
saying though.
less than average to still get with bad chicks and everything. I'm not this
Exactly.
dude not still get
But
with bad
it's an
chicks.
anomaly.
I don't get with the same
That's right.
females you do. You literally said yourself, I get with women, single mothers that are pregnant. That's a you problem. That's not my problem. I don't do that though. I don't deal with single mothers. I don't date single mothers, period. At
Hey,
all. You know what
my
I'm saying?
point was I'm not entitled and I don't have a entitlement of I know my lane, sir.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
At the end
Listen,
of
guys,
the
don't
day,
just
listen.
at
tell
the
me
end of
that
the
every
day, I'm
dude
gonna get
problem.
with someone who
Let's
likes me.
do this
What does that
because
have to do with every other man?
Hold on, Blue didn't get to say a word. He's been waiting patiently. So I just want to hear what Blue has to say on this topic. Hi,
Yeah, let's go
Blue.
But
ahead.
thank you
Hey,
very
Blue.
much. I'm gonna fall back.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate
Deuces.
you. Hi, Blue.
Oh no, Blue can't make it. Yeah, it's okay. You let us know when you're unmuted, and we'll let you go. Now, to let you know, Melody. So what ended up happening was this. Okay, I don't know what happened on your panel, maybe a few weeks ago or whatever, but whatever it was, he now attributes him getting shut down to somehow it being my fault because I was the only person on the panel who recognized him from a previous week because he had come to Char's panel several times. So on Friday that just passed, right? This
Mhm.
man went on a whole lost his whole damn mind tangent. And the thing is, and he started saying I was doing this to him and I was doing that to him and all kinds
What?
of stuff. And all I did, I was like, well, I'm telling you, I'm going to prove my point where you went off topic from the second you got onto the panel because Shar asked you right away to please talk about the topic. And then she had corrected you multiple times. He's like, no, you see, you're just trying to slander me, trying to ruin a black man's name, and it's because you hate Kevin Samuels. And so he was already doing this on Friday. And then all we did was I tried to play for him the point where he literally did it, but then instead he ran away. And so he said that he would never get on another panel with me that I'm on or any garbage people who choose to support garbage like me on their panel until I admitted that he had never been off topic on Char's panel, which I can't do because it's actively untrue. And then somehow from then he showed up and watched Char's next panel, and now he showed up and watched your panel, and then he jumped on your panel.
You got a
So
stalker.
I don't know
Interesting.
what is happening.
Interesting. What is going on here? Oh my God. It sounds like the situation I had with you know who. I'm not going to say
Yep,
no names.
yep.
Same situation.
So damn.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got screenshots. Oh, I got to send you those screenshots, Ruby. But anyway, yeah, like people are crazy. I'm
What is happening? I
confused.
just like, when did we
No,
mention Kevin
no.
Samuels? This isn't about Kevin Samuels. You're like, we haven't talked about Fresh Fit. I'm like, no, honestly, I did. I mentioned Fresh just because it was his talking point when he was, because everyone knows the joke, the burning desire part of the joke, and Abba and Preach and whatever. But, it's still a point that a lot of guys agree with, which is that, they may not say burning desire, but, some guys are cool with, hey, listen, it's a transaction. I need this itch scratched. I want, the company of a beautiful woman. I don't got time for this. I'm willing to pay for it, and it's cool. And then there are some guys who are saying, no, I'm only sleeping with her because she wants to get on this D, and that's it, right? So there are different strokes for different folks, but none of that has anything to do with Kevin Samuels. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with fresh and fit speaking for all black men. It's like
Yeah.
black men are not a monolith.
You want to know
They
why,
all think
Ruby?
differently.
You want to know why, Ruby? Because he did listen to that episode. Kevin talking about, painful play and everything, but Kevin talked about it in a strategic way, like it's like yeah, sometimes what it has its place. Like Kevin never knocked sex workers. Like he feel like it should be legalized and stuff. If he had it his way and everything, yeah, it's like, hey, some dude's gonna have to pay for play and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's something he always says about what do white people in their community call tricking as black people call tricking. They call it solicitation for prostitution. That's what it is. That's what tricking is. Like it's solicitation for prostitution, but we call it something different to try to turn a negative nuance to it to make it more positive and stuff. In our community.
Right. For the record, I was going to say to Kenshawn, because he's pretty new to the space. I've been around for 7 years, and I'm very, very hella consistent. Anyone who knows me from 7 years ago and listened to me 7 years ago knows that I'm saying the same thing now that I said 7 years ago and I've said for the last 7 years. I haven't changed. My opinions on things haven't changed. My position on things hasn't changed. I am who I am. I believe what I believe. And even before this space, if you go to my website, you can see me writing as early as 2009 about certain things, like my anti-feminism stances. So again, like you can't just like lie on people because I hurt your feelings like 2 months ago. It's crazy. See, this is a problem, right?
Creepy,
we don't have emotional regulation. As a community, we seriously lack an emotional regulation. And it makes us very illogical, and it makes us embarrass ourselves, and it makes us not be able to learn things or grow because we're just so caught up in our feelings. It's really something as a community we need to fix, because sometimes we make ourselves look crazy as hell. Like seriously crazy as hell.
That was Kenshawn who came up here?
That was Kenshawn, yeah.
Oh, Kenshawn is cool peoples. What the heck?
I hurt his feelings. I don't know what happened.
I date only women that are pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was.
I find that even weird to my damn self. Like, you got a pregnant woman fetish. That's what that is. You got a pregnant woman fetish.
He used to come to movie night. Remember, Mel? Kenshawn?
Oh, him.
Yeah, that's him. I didn't even know he was on it like that.
But see, Kenshawn, all I have to do is say this. The argument. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta address this. So he said I lied and he called it out backstage. No, what happened is, right, he went off topic several different times, which I literally addressed. And then I said to him, I said, listen, everyone else but me was saying it's just because he didn't come in. He didn't hear things, even though Shar asked him that at the very, very beginning. And I said, no, I believe that you did hear things, but I think maybe you just don't understand the way Shar's panel works. It works differently than other panels, whereas she likes to very much stay on topic. So maybe that was just the problem. So, next time, if we're talking about this very specific, like this video, it's not to branch out into a bunch of different things. She wants to talk about that video and that's it. Right. But then I was his ire from then, and he's like, you can't prove I brought up these 5 topics and you can't prove I ever went off course. I'm like, yes, I can. You could just play it back. So all y'all have to do is this. Go listen to Shar, Just Ask Shar, okay? You guys go listen to her panel on Friday, okay? And then when Kenshawn comes on, you see if he didn't go off topic several times. It's very easy to prove if I was lying on him or not. You just go listen to the playback on Shar's panel. That's it. It's very simple, Kenshawn. Get out of your feelings. Go take some accountability. You like to get off topic. You like to ramble about rhetoric. It is what it is. That people get off topic, man. Like this is not like a character assassination, right? Like that's like me getting in my feelings because people say I talk a lot. I do talk a lot. Like, why would I be upset about this? This is crazy. Okay. I feel better. Let's move on. Okay.
Let's see if Blue is available. Hey, Blue, are you there? Are you there, Blue 2022? Are you there?
No.
Okay.
He's not there. So, you know what? Listen. Wait. Did he answer? No. But let's talk about Gabby for a second, because here's the thing. I don't think people realize, right? Like, Gabby, one thing that I think they're going to use Gabby as an example to prove that you can be as overweight as you want and da-da-da-da-da. But do y'all remember her in Precious?
Yes, I do.
Like, a lot of that bingo wing arm she's got is because she lost a lot of weight, actually. Like
Mm-hmm.
in reality, she actually has lost a lot of weight. And so, like, if you look at the pictures that I showed up here, right? Like, she was round in Precious, like legit, actually the shape round. Like, she did not have any form of waist. So when you look at this and you see she's got a little bit of, you know, guitar to her now, like she's lost a dramatic amount of weight. So I think the argument can and should be made that okay, she's not skinny, right? And she's never going to be super gorgeous, but I think
Right.
she's improved a lot. Like I think she has clearly lost a lot of weight. She's put a lot of work into improving her looks and her confidence and the way she moves and whatever. So she's moving with grace. She's, you know, moving with a lot more dignity. She's a lot thinner. So, you know, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's about the fact, not the fact that she's skinny, but how much work she's willing to put into herself. So let me ask the guys who are here, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that it makes a difference? Like if she's lost 200 pounds, she's still overweight now, but she's been working for years to lose hundreds of pounds. Would that make a difference to y'all?
Well, you just mentioned a key thing. She improved herself for her man and stuff, and that's what a lot of females miss out. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
prove yourself for your man to make him more happy, then you know what? Yeah, I mean, me personally, yeah, I still don't get with big girls like that, but you know what I'm saying. But but I mean, but if she's willing to improve herself for a man to make herself a better version of herself for a man, so they got a successful relationship and everything, I support that. And I support Gabby, but she improved herself for a man. She met this man and she wanted to make herself more better for him and everything. So and she got she ain't got she may I mean he accepted her for that size, but she not getting 300 pounds. I don't know how she was like 300 pounds before, right? So now she's like what 250 or something like that.
I think
No,
she's
she
bigger than that.
definitely was like 400 pounds and she's like three now. That's why.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
like
because
not
I'm
even joking. I
precious.
think she's
Oh
over
my
400 pounds
God.
for real. Like,
Yeah. Right now she's probably like 380. But yeah, she was over four before.
You said 400 pounds. You feel like them shows that you got to lift her up in a lift or something like that. She wouldn't be able to walk.
But she looked 400 pounds though. She looked it in Precious. She don't look it now. She look about
I would
370. I would give her 360 maybe.
because she was
yeah.
able to walk. Like people,
It looks like she's lost easily about 150,
100.
close to 200
yeah,
pounds.
yeah,
Right. I agree with that. But she's still in the threes.
yeah, probably like what 290. Yeah, but
Look, she's a work in progress. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure this ain't her final form, so
yeah. I think
she's
Yeah.
she
still
might
work.
lose more weight throughout the years and stuff like that because as being at it together, they want to be more concerned with her health issues and be willing to be patient with her. It seems like it's working and let her know, you know what, I want you to be living longer, everything, especially we have kids together. It's about the health. It's not just about the looks of your health. The
Let's
after
all
losing getting healthy, it's the weight loss. The weight loss is the byproduct of that. Yeah. I think she's gonna lose a little
right.
after this.
Let's also talk about the fact that she divested. What do you guys think about her not dating black guys and she's moved on to white men?
Let me say she was a divester because we know divestors throw it in your face. And so I never heard her say
Yeah,
white
she's
male parents.
interracially dating. Like,
Well, she's okay. I'm sorry. She's interracially dating. How do you
Yeah,
men feel about that? Does it bother
Mm,
you any, or
no,
you don't care? You can care less.
well, no, I can probably speak for most guys. We really don't care, especially somebody of her original form. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I will say this: I feel like a lot of women, especially in entertainment, when they do take that approach, they do kind of throw it back in our faces a little bit to say, look at me, look what I got. I got a man from another, a white man that loved me and this and that, this, that, and the third. And, a lot of us, we like, okay, so what? You
Right.
found somebody for you. That works for you. Um, we
mm-hmm.
again, I feel like people gotta be really careful about certain things, certain topics, certain partners that they pick, and you really got to have discernment on who you're going with. Are you doing it for the superficial pleasures? Excuse me, superficial pleasures that come with that, being this man's money, looks, social status, whatever, or are you doing it because he's actually making you feel good?
Right. Now,
So
let me ask you this. So, if she was attractive, would that make a difference? Like, if she was hot, let's say Lori Harvey was dating a white guy, would that bother you, or it just don't
no,
bother you at all?
no, don't let it look. Females come a dime a dozen. Like we're not worried about what somebody want to do in their relationship. Now, will we probably be like, dang, she got with him? I bet. Like for instance, Eve, the rapper, she got with some billionaire guy who from just the looks, it looked like he would never ever date somebody like Eve because Eve is bad. She a nice, curvy, thick lady, but
Hmm.
somehow he pulled her, and that's a lick. It's like, all right, dang, and he got with her back, but we ain't
Right.
gonna lose no sleep over it. We just gonna
What's that
keep it.
actress chick Tika
Sumter.
Tika
Tika
yeah,
Sumter.
Sumter.
that's in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, yeah, the black girl, yeah, she just married her white husband and stuff like that. Take a picture of them 2 years, like don't bother me, but the investors would definitely use that as a big example.
Mhm.
How many black women that look like her, and how many of their white boyfriends look like him? Two highly attractive people and everything. You're not gonna see a lot of that
Mhm.
investors in those type of relationships like that. So it's like, but they will,
Right.
they will try to use that to feed their narrative. Or let's say like Tamara Maui, one of the Maui twins. Her husband's white. Husband looked more like a Jim Belushi type and everything. Yeah, but the fact is she married outside her race and found happiness.
No, she's half
That's
white.
not,
That's not outside her race. She's biracial.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm,
yeah. You're right. Yeah, she.
yeah, that's 50-50.
But
I want
it's
to
that
address.
one drop rule they're gonna do though. That's the whole thing.
True. What if you have one white parent, one black parent? Then But Kevin Murray said, I want to address this. Wait, nobody's mad that she's losing weight for her man, but they have a problem with Lori Harvey. Now, I'll tell you something. The only people who you cannot criticize these days for losing weight for your looks or for your health are black women, interestingly enough. But like white folks, they're not allowed to advertise that they're losing weight and they're excited that they're no longer super morbidly obese. Like they will get shamed right out of all of those left wing communities, the health at every size and fat acceptance and all of that, right? Like it's like toxic these days to want to lose weight at all. But black women are allowed to want to lose weight and to actually lose weight because they are a triple or quadruple minority and intersectional whatever. Um, but here's the thing: we're talking about black women. So then the criticism becomes, well, wait a minute, why, from the black community towards black women, is it okay for Monique to lose weight? Right? I mean, she's lost a lot of weight recently too. I mean, sure, she didn't say it was for a man, but she got one. Or Gabby, the other, why is it okay for these super morbidly obese women to want to lose hundreds of pounds, but it's not okay for Lori Harvey to lose 10, 15 pounds, right? Why is it okay for every single woman or man who wants to get that weight loss surgery and stuff like that? Do you know how tiny the amount of calories they end up eating for months or even years a day? Like they end up eating like a minimal, tiny, like 800 to 1200 calories. And that's okay when you're super morbidly obese and want to lose weight. But when you want to go and pay a nutritionist and get on a health plan and an exercise plan and whatever, and only eat 1200 calories, well, then you're being toxic, right? So
Exactly.
it's the
I don't know why
hypocrisy.
that is.
They
Yeah.
giving Laura problems because she wants to be in shape for her man.
Yeah, because pretty much, here's the thing:
I mean, I know
beautiful
she's
women.
not a fat moo cow,
No,
but
beautiful women,
Move
thin
that.
women, and beautiful women are not allowed to have problems. They're not allowed to have struggles. They're not allowed to have insecurities, right? And they're not allowed to work to improve themselves because the whole thing is, right, the way that the average woman sees them is you are already super above average. How dare you do something to try to further improve yourself, right? Like, how dare you? You make the rest of us already look bad just by existing. You're already blessed genetically. So, how dare you try to do something to further improve yourself, to further improve your odds, to further improve your chances of keeping your man? Like, how dare you do that? That
Those
is
are people
really
with
what
too
the
much time
impression
on
is.
their hands.
It's
you
jealousy and
better keep back,
envy.
Ruby. Average
Got too
people.
much time on their hands. That's
I mean,
petty.
yeah.
Hmm?
Is the problem is so not gonna solve their problems to those average people. Stop being average. Be above
Right.
average. Period. Plain and simple.
Right.
I think, I
So,
think the thing is that they can't necessarily, when you are very, as a woman, right? Like, half of it is socialization, half of it is programming, as far as evolutionary programming, right? But we are evolutionarily programmed to, the way we're competing is through our looks, right? Like, that's where our hierarchy is. We know our hierarchy is more natural than men's is, right? Men's hierarchy is based on what they do, right? So how much food or shelter or protection, provision, strength, whatever, how much they can do is going to influence where they fall in the hierarchy. But for women, a lot of it comes down to genetics, right? If all other things are equal, right? If you were back out in the wild, you're not going to be super morbidly obese. So everyone's, healthy weight. So then it comes down to genetics. Just some people are just genetically more beautiful than others, right? That's just what it is. And women know that. So there's like a natural hierarchy we have in our heads. No matter how beautiful we can make ourselves look, we're still evaluating ourselves according to what we naturally look like. We know if we're really a 5 without makeup, or a 6 without makeup, or, a 4.5. We know that. We do know that. We lie about it, but we know it. And so it hurts our feelings when other people are willing to work harder than we are on their looks in a way that's like permanent and changeable, because then if we're not willing to work that hard, then we know we're going to fall behind. We know that we're not going to be able to like kind of keep up in that rat race that we're racing, so to speak. So I
That's
think that's
the nature
mostly
of the
what it
world.
is. Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
the
oh,
nature of the
sorry.
world, though. That's how the world works. So you pass on the best genetics to the next generation. So if you're a morbidly obese person in the wild, if you will, then your chances of winning a fight and passing on your genetics to the next generation are slim to none, because you're too fat and too slow and too sloppy to win a fight. So actually, I would slightly disagree with you, Ruby, in the sense that it's also very important for males as well. We see this all the time, even in the wild. Just when the males, when they have to fight, the strongest, more fit male wins, and he's the one that passes his genetics via the next generation with the prominent female that they're trying to go after.
Well, yeah, that's why I said he did something though. Like he didn't just sit there and look pretty. His muscles looked pretty. His eyes looked authoritative. So therefore, he gets to be at the top of the hierarchy. He had to do something to earn
Well, well,
that.
the point
Yeah,
is,
I
the
was
bigger, stronger, physically more fit specimen is winning. So it's still, to your point, with the females, it's the same thing with the male. The strongest, best looking male, more fit male is going to win. When you talk about, say, for instance, male lions, they attract females with their manes. A lighter mane won't attract the females as much as a nice, thick, dark mane will, because that's telling the female, oh man, this guy, he got it going on. His testosterone level is on 100. That guy, he gonna beat every male, that come his way. You know what I'm saying? So that's naturally gonna draw more females to him.
However, in a lion pride, right, this is why there's only one. So at the end of the day, while the females might prefer certain things, right, for sexual selection purposes, at the end of the day, those other selection purposes, the survival ones, are the ones that are going to make the lion, who's a little bit more diligent and active from early on. He's going to become stronger, leaner, faster, and therefore he's going to be more likely to be able to outcompete the other lion and win the pride. So
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I would say like men and
More fit,
the look
darker
for both men
male
and women.
ain't like is winning.
that's what he did.
I would say both for both men and women. Looks are important for both for men and women with each other. But this is where it strains off more percentage of different attributes, as will be pointed out. For the men, is yes, genetic looks, yes, because some females feel like they get a jackpot, but also too, they like more auditorial and stuff. Like you can deal with a pretty boy looking dude, but if he has no mouthpiece to talk to a woman, no charisma, no smoothness to his voice, no seductive, she'll be turned off by him real quickly and deal with a guy that actually got that, but doesn't have a lot in the genetic lottery like that and stuff. I mean, we see it all the time. And also, too, just like you said with the lion pride, there's only one lion because he's the most dominant one because he exhibit more masculinity, more toxicity to himself. So she gonna make what they're gonna see that as he's the strongest one. It's not just with looks. 100% with women. With us, it's more like a your masculinity level and stuff like that. With us, is more on looks, and then it's like the oratorio for us. Like most of the time, she could be a fine looking chick and everything, but she might say something stupid that you think it would turn us off. But we're willing to be a little more lenient towards her because she's just that beautiful, no matter what. We have a
Right.
conversation that doesn't go nowhere, but as long as she's fine and got that look that's stimulating our minds, we tend to not care most of the time. And so we worry about that later.
True.
So we feel like if we either got to sleep with her or all this money and time we wasted trying to get to sleep with her, and then we finally break out and realize it's not happening. Those are the times we complain about it, but it's like we worry about that stuff later and stuff like that. So.
Yeah,
True.
you got
That's
that
true.
right. That is
Hmm.
true. But we have the Dre experience on the panel. Hi.
Hey,
Hey.
what's going on? Listen, I wrote in the chat earlier, go where you celebrated, not tolerated. So I know this is going to sound very cliche, but there is somebody out there for everybody. It's just, are you prepared
True.
to broaden your horizons to search for that person? And clearly, Gabi Sinabe has. Um, I wanted to ask, I think it was either Melody or Ruby, one of you earlier on said, um, you don't either women don't go for looks or yourselves in particular don't go for looks. I'm not sure which one of you said it before. It was one of you.
I said it.
So
I said it.
okay. So I'd like to ask the white man that she's with, if he approached you, would you consider him?
I'm
Be
only
just
into
straight
black.
honest. Honest.
I'm only into black men. No other
Okay,
race.
so clearly this man is beneath you. The same way Gabi Sinabe is beneath me,
No,
not
no
because she
man is beneath me. I don't think any man is beneath me.
if
I'm a
you went
woman. I'm beneath them. So
but for example, you wouldn't date the man because he was white. So he's beneath you, I'm not trying to be combative, he's beneath you whether you like it or not. The same with Gabi Sinabe with myself. I'm pro health, so I couldn't be with a woman who's in that condition. So basically, you've got, and I would assume most men that are watching this on the panel, whatever, they wouldn't date a Gabi Sinabe because of the size she is. Um, Contrary to popular belief, she's not ugly in the face. If she lost the weight, she'd probably be considered more desirable to black men. It's just the weight that's putting people off. We had the same situation with Jasmine Sullivan. When she was overweight, she wasn't really desirable. She's lost the weight. People consider her stunning now. So it's a case of people just getting with their class. She's realized she couldn't demand a lot of men in this panel or myself. So she's gone and got with maybe somebody who's more accepting. The same way regardless of cultural beliefs, whatever, you're not prepared to date that white man. That white man could love you, cherish you more than any black man could, but you're not prepared to date him simply because he's white. So that grade of man you wouldn't date, and that grade of woman I wouldn't date. So
I
those
agree.
two so those two are pretty much a match made in heaven. Considering, don't get me wrong, it could flop and they could eventually not date each other. But at the same time, this is what people need to do. They need to start accepting what they are grade wise and be honest with themselves visually. Me, I like to work out like no tomorrow, so I need a woman that will work out as well. I couldn't be with a woman of that size. I believe I deserve what I put out there in the same way
Right.
I
everybody should.
agree.
I
We
agree,
agree with
brother.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
Nobody
glad you said that.
disagrees with you.
No,
Right. You can
exactly.
I
We
be
talked
her.
about
agree
that.
that you said that you deserve. And I tell brothers all the time, you need to speak up of what you feel like you deserve and enforce that. We don't speak
Fact.
what we deserve for what we want as men. We hear that a lot in women. Women say that all the time, what they feel like they deserve. But I don't hear enough of the men saying that. It's
Yeah,
that
but
we
sometimes the
see
women
that
say
law.
that and they're delusional as hell. See, my issue is hypocrites. I don't like hypocrites, right? So this is why I like the Dre experience, because he's saying, listen, I work out. I'm a physically fit, an active person. I work out like there's no tomorrow. And therefore, I would be unequally yoked with a woman who is super morbidly obese, doesn't like to be physically active, isn't in shape. Because, first of all, like, just your value systems are different. The lives you're going to want to live are different. Like, a person who's in shape and physically active and fit, you're going to want to do different things for dates. You're going to have a different timeline as far as the way you live, as far as the way you eat, just so many different things. Like, you're going to end up kind of resenting each other, looking down on each other, or whatever, for a variety of reasons. So I'm 100% in when people have the thing that they're looking for, right? And I know that some men will agree with this, because I understand when women say, well, I make $200,000 a year, so no, I don't want to date a guy who's making 30K. I understand that, because it's like, when you're working really hard for something, you want to be with someone who has a like mind. I think that makes sense. My issue is when people are being hypocritical with it. So when you get the guys who are obese or morbidly obese saying that they wouldn't date a woman who's over a size 6 or something, and I'm like,
But did you look in the mirror?
okay.
I get
Yeah,
I get what
I
you're
don't get
saying,
that.
Ruby. I
Like,
do. I do get what you're saying.
That's just you right on that, Ruby. That's why I say, like, I'm not nobody what they feel like they deserve. My thing is, okay, are you gonna put in the work to get it? And men and women's strategy is gonna be different also too. I think as men we understand that because our strategy is different from women. I can't get with women the same way a woman could get with a man because our strategy is different and stuff. So I'm gonna play upon my strength as a man to get with some woman, but I start putting the work to know how to attract those type of women. Also, like a woman, she knows how she can attract certain types of men based on her femininity and everything, but she also has to play the strategy, put in the work to not only attract that man but keep that man. That's one thing we play upon straight. You know what I'm saying? Women can always get sex, but how can she get commitment out of this man? Man, we give our commitment away so much, but so easily. But what about the intimacy part and everything? And that's that we gotta work hard on. Like yeah, like for of our weaknesses, but of our strengths and our differences and stuff.
Right. And adult supervision have a point. Oh no, not adult. Go back to the one you had up there. Which one was it, Ruby? Oh,
was it
beneath
that one?
versus
The beneath
no.
and beside are different, though? That one?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Like, because he kept saying the white guy's beneath me. Who am I to say anyone is beneath me? I'm not that type of woman. Just because he's not my preference don't mean he's beneath me. I think
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
what adult's
I think
saying.
there's a difference when you're talking about race, though. And I mean,
Right.
honestly, like, I wouldn't date a white man or anyone who's non-black, right? With my preference being first, obviously, a Jamaican slash Islander, then Black Americans, then maybe an African. And that has to do with a cultural understanding, a life understanding, an
It is
identity understanding
discriminatory.
that you're just not going to be able to relate to in
Yeah,
the
this
same way that I
Right.
need, right? That's not the same thing as
It's
me saying I won't date a guy who's under 5'10". It's not the same thing.
exactly at
Yeah.
no,
all.
it is. We may not like the wording, but that's what it is. It's discriminatory. Just say you came across a white man who understood you culturally, you probably still wouldn't date him, would you?
If he was a white Jamaican, yes, I would.
But
Okay,
the fact is,
I
everybody
can't tell you any
say
different. I
beneath.
just
Well, no, because the thing is, though, because if you were to use the example of weight or height, there's a bunch of things that women discriminate against men for that I would say are absolutely equal to a man saying, I would not date a morbidly obese woman, right? I just don't think that when we're talking about culture, religion, and race, I just don't think that those are equal. Those are the same to factors like weight. Actually, honestly, if anything, I think it would be fairer to make this comparison saying um, uh, women who won't date a man who's under a
Complexion
certain height. And the
or
reason why is
complexion.
because, well, no, I wouldn't even say that. I would say the height. The reason why is because a man can't even change his height, right? Like he's born whatever height he is, but yet women regularly say, I will not date a man who's under 5'10", who's under 6 feet, who's under 6'2", right? And I think it's pretty offensive and discriminatory, and has nothing to do with how well the man will love you or treat you, or how much he makes or anything like that, or what kind of husband or father he would be. Whereas I think with the weight thing, if anything, it does affect all of the above. It affects what kind of wife and mother she would be, and the decisions she'll make, and the kind of life you guys can lead, and it affects everything, right? So I'm like, I don't think switching the example to something a little bit more non-identity ish, like height or something, or maybe D size, or I don't know, whatever, would be unfair to make your point.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. That's why I was a little confused. The drag thing.
Sorry, Ruby, you started your sentence off, and you can play it back. I would never put words in another person's mouth. You said you don't date white men, because
no, I don't.
They wouldn't be able to get you culturally. And then I said, would you date a white person if they got you culturally? And you just said, yes, you would date a white Jamaican.
I would date a white Jamaican, but here's the thing, right? White Jamaicans, and I've explained this before, like on this panel. I know you probably didn't hear it, but I didn't really even understand what race meant in North America until I was like a teenager, because race didn't mean the same thing for me because I'm Jamaican. And so in Jamaica, you're either from yard or you're from foreign. And that had nothing to do with the color of your skin. Right? It had to do with either you are from Jamaica, born and raised, culturally, your family's from Jamaica, that's who you are, or you're not. That's it, right? So what I'm saying is, right, like when I say white people, I'm not referring to white Jamaicans, or I'm talking about European people or Canadians who are, 10 generations, or North Americans who are 10, 15, 20 generations white North American, right? They can't possibly understand on any level, either from being black in North America or just from a cultural standpoint. They can't understand or relate or bond because they literally just don't share those things.
Okay, well, I'll accept that, because, all right, cool. Now, Melody, the same. If a white man could conduct himself culturally in a black setting, would you date him?
Oh, hey, Melody, before you answer that, do you want your IG page put in the chat publicly like this?
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, it's out there already, so it's okay. But thanks, Mel. Mel's always looking out for me. I just culturally, me being a black woman, a white man, no.
So you've got. So I personally believe, Ruby, I'm not trying to be combative. You clearly can't have the same mindset as Melody, because you said you're prepared to get with a Caucasian man as long as he's Jamaican. So you are quite open. You may not have realized this, but the fact that you said that you're prepared to get with a white Jamaican, and I know a few white Jamaicans, so that means you are more open. You don't date black men exclusively if the requirements are met. That's all anyway. But it's not.
I just have white Jamaicans because my grandmother, she's a white Jamaican, so I think it's also just it's actually part of me.
I believe it's more healthy to be that way, and I believe it's more healthy to be that way. You know what I mean? But again, it's all about broadening the horizons. Most black men are not going to get with Gabby Sidibe. So Gabby Sidibe knows full well she's not really an ideal pick for most men. So she went where she was celebrated rather than, do you know what I mean? Rather than tolerated. And no, I wouldn't, black men in general, we don't get upset when a woman, even if she's black and attractive and she gets with a white man. No one got upset with Nika Sumter. No one got upset with Rihanna when she got with the Arab dude. That's just not what we are. No disrespect. It's more of a woman thing. Who it's women where, I don't want to sound offensive, but maybe it's the estrogen in you. When a lot of black women see an attractive black man with a blonde woman, that's usually where the self-esteem starts hitting people. But men, we don't really care whether she's attractive or whether she's not. It's just we do what we do anyway. The testosterone in us won't allow us to really, even if we are bothered, we'd never show it.
and that's fair enough. I think, I mean, we kind of brought up the divester thing as like an afterthought point, because the biggest point we were commenting on, right, is a lot of talk saying that, once you're past 35, you've hit the wall, and if you're overweight, like, you could get, someone will smash you, but no one's marrying you. And so you've got like those two factors where she is 39 years old and super morbidly obese, and yet, she's getting married. She's engaged, she's getting married, she's on the cover of Brides magazine and stuff. And it's like, okay, this is challenging the idea that if you are, past 35 and, overweight, you might as well just give up, because unless you can't rewind time, so unless you drop a lot of weight drastically, it's over for you. That I think that is more so what we were focusing on. And then it was like, as an after that, we're like, oh yeah, and he's white. Like, we didn't
Well,
really focus
if
on
I
that
could
initially.
chime in, I think that's what deviates a lot of the people that did agree with some of these folks in the manosphere. That is what deviated us, because obviously you have many examples that, just like you said, challenge that notion that once you hit the wall, you're done. Obviously, that's not the case. So you can't, that I mean, we're always gonna have things that we agree on and things that we disagree on with even people we like and agree with them on. So, again, she just found a good situation. And a lot of the times the person that is usually the best for you is completely opposite of what you think. It's not always gonna be, oh, tall, dark, and handsome. It might be regular height, white chocolate, you know what I'm saying? Just like she did. Or for him, it might be her, a big chocolate, nice female or whatever. So, sometimes it really is about that opposites attract. It's not, if you got two pieces that's exactly the same, they may not stick together as well as one that's, the opposite of one another.
This
You've
is
also got to
yeah.
take into consideration.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
brother.
you've also got to take into consideration she's a celebrity. So she has the perks of being a celebrity. She will have some form of money of her own, and she would have come into circles where she could have got with a man like that. Whereas if she was maybe a woman, just a normal woman on the street, maybe she would be struggling. Let's somebody said it in the chat. Outliers exist. Like, she is, and it's going to sound horrible, but maybe she's got this man and happily married or whatever she is. I'm not sure about the details. Is because of the circle she's in. Like, that's what happens. It's kind of what happens with men, but in reverse. Men, when we have money, we can pretty much obtain any grade of woman we want based on the finances. She's a public figure, so there is a part of desire into that also. She's not just some random overweight woman walking along the street. She is an actor. She's famous. It's clearly appealing to this guy. So maybe in these particular circumstances, her being 35 doesn't necessarily matter, And I was going to say one more thing. A lot of this stuff with 35 and things like that, this
Oh, he's only worth 1 million.
metaphorical clock is based on how you basically. What's the best way I can put it? Because basically, I'm not trying to go off topic. We eat a lot of rubbish in Western society. We eat a lot of biscuits, chocolates, sweets. You know what I mean? We eat a lot of really bad foods and a lot of sugar. I'm 5 years sugar free. The reason why I do that is because not because I'm trying to necessarily look good. I want to age gracefully. I don't want to be 50, 60 years of age, struggling to piss straight and having bad backs and stuff. You treat the body like a well-oiled machine, it will pay you back in royalties. And that's no disrespect. Not a lot of women do that. And that's not their fault. Western society, we've been eating sugar, alcohol, whatever, since you were teen, whatever. But the body breaks down at a certain point. So, like, if all women really have to do is quit a lot of sugars from the age of 25 onwards, and you can look just as beautiful as you were. Maybe not as beautiful, but say you can look, if you're 40, you can look 30, and especially if you're a woman of color. All of these things where they're saying women are over the hill by the age of 30 is because of all the stuff women partake in. Plus, a lot of women Having children breaks the body down. It does. Breastfeeding children will start making the skin a bit more elasticated. These are things that can't be helped if you want to have children. But how your body recovers and how you age gracefully is a lot of it is based on your eating practices. And just it's not just women. Most people eat like shit, and sorry, they eat crap and drink crap and then age like crap. That's what a lot of this is. If women ate a lot better as well as men,
Hmm.
all of this, oh, when you're 30, you're over the hill, it's be gone. Do you understand? Do you know what I mean? I'm 34. So me, I know full well I've peaked and I'm trying to stay at the top of this peak as much as I can. Eventually I'm going to fall downhill, but I'm just trying my best to stay at the top of the peak as much as I can. But, sorry to go off topic.
I'm glad you put up there, Ruby. Yeah, because that's my point earlier. Like, if Gabby makes more money and stuff, she has to know her lane. That technically, with her looks and everything, the best she could get is a pay for play type of dude. If she wants someone that's gonna naturally like her for her and that's everything, she have to play the game differently. She gonna have to get with someone that's probably make less money than she does and stuff. And
Oh yeah, I mean, but he's making 200,000. He is the inventor of Cameo. If you haven't heard of that, it's like one of those networking whatever sites
yeah,
for businesses and stuff
yeah.
like that. He's a fitness enthusiast as well, which I thought was an interesting
Oh,
point.
Oh, that is strange.
like I said earlier, she gonna lose more weight behind this. Yeah, it's like he's being patient with her. So like,
Right. It ain't her
Hmm, So
final
maybe,
form. So
so
she
maybe that's
probably
why
just
she's
trying to adapt.
losing weight. Maybe because of him. That makes
There you go.
sense.
Well, he is known, it says Brandon Frankel is known for his positive attitude, creative mindset, and fitness freak. So I mean that's literally what it's saying on his like about page. So I mean at the end of the day, those are actually really interesting factors you put together. You have a guy who's really creative. He is open-minded. He's a visionary because he was able to invent this thing and whatever. And he's a fitness freak and he has a positive attitude. And I can see that coming together and being a really good positive force for change to a woman who wants that positive change. She just needed a positive avenue to pursue, right? Because some people do really well with the mean personal trainer kind of vibe, but some people just really need like the positivity and someone who's constantly at your side doing it and holding your hand and walking you through it and living it with you. So it's not like a punishment that you're changing your life because we're doing it together, babe. And I'm guessing that's probably exactly what happened, right? I mean, she's lost a lot of weight over the last few years. They've been together since 2019. So yeah, probably that's exactly what happened. And when he saw that she was willing to make those positive changes, about just over a year later, he proposed to her, right? And yeah, so obviously that must be what it is. I mean, and that's what I said. I'm like, I think that when we hear this conversation or in the spaces, we're going to hear a lot of other talk. We're not going to hear anyone really addressing the fact that wait, she lost a lot of weight, a lot of weight. That means she is diligently and constantly, because she didn't have one of those weight loss surgeries. That means she's losing it naturally on her own. You know how much work and willpower it takes for you to go from eating enough to either gain weight or maintain such a large weight,
Right.
and
But
then
I'm
for
just
you
saying that,
to
I'm sorry,
lose.
baby. Go ahead, and then I'll go.
I was just
When
gonna
you're
say,
done.
like, you have to decrease your calories, and when you expanded your stomach like that, you're starving all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
the willpower and then the work, and then it's going to be painful and hard because you have way too much weight on every single joint and every single muscle and every single tendon and ligament. Like that's a lot. It says a lot about someone who's willing to persevere, to start that journey and keep going no matter what. So I think we're not going to hear a lot of people talking about that, especially on the women's side, who are using this as like a flag, when I do think that that's probably a big factor. I think if she hadn't lost a drop of weight, she wasn't willing to work out, she wasn't willing to make any changes at all, I don't think this would have been her end result,
Well,
honestly.
I'm gonna say this because I have an aunt named Penny. Oh, I just put her name out there. Sorry. But yeah, she was big like Precious, and she got the gastric sleeve.
Mhm.
What that is they do something. They put like a ring around. What do they do? Like something in your stomach to where you can't eat that much. And she lost a
Yeah.
lot of weight, just like Gabby. Now I'm thinking she might have had that because I actually know several people who had that surgery. The doctor made them get it because their health was declining so bad.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's something that doctors make you do it, and the healthcare actually pay for the health insurance actually pay for that. So I'm almost thinking that she probably got the gastric sleeve because of the way from the pictures, the way she's losing the weight, it just seems like that. And like I said, I know several people who got it, so that there's a big possibility she's not working out.
But even, you know what though? No, because even if you get the gastric sleeve, see, this is a common misconception. People
Yeah.
think that if you get that, it's like a guarantee you're going to lose weight. Whereas in a lot of people end up gaining weight. They either
Back.
never lose weight or they lose a little bit of weight and then they gain it all back because they think that, oh, the gastric sleeve just magically did it for them. Like, no, you've got to be still diligent. You have to actually have a
Mhm.
lot of willpower. You do have to actually work out. Like, you still have to put in all of that work. It's just, yeah, it's a jump start, right? But you still have to put in a lot of work for it to work for you. Otherwise, you're going to gain back the weight.
And I'm
Lifestyle.
not bashing anybody who got it because I think it's great to get that because you're trying to lose the weight fast. But the people I know that got it, especially my aunt, she don't work out at all, but the weight is just coming down, and that's only because she can't eat. That ring around her stomach makes it so that she can only eat a tiny, tiny portion of food. So that's not true. You don't really have to work out with that. But I know with the BBLs, you have to work out.
Your
You have to
stomach will
work out with
stretch
those.
again though,
It's
babe.
the
Here's the thing.
lifestyle.
What
That's
people don't realize is that that's like a temporary thing, but just like your stomach
yeah.
stretched out the first time, you could stretch out that little pocket to just as big or bigger than your original stomach was. So it takes, you actually have to um have a lot of self-control to only eat in those tiny little amounts and tiny increments, and then once you get to like a good healthy diet range, to not go over that and re-stretch out your stomach. So you have to go through not only the work, mentally, physically, emotionally, like, you a lot of people have to go through therapy and stuff like that, because otherwise you're just going to go back to engaging in binging and
Mhm.
emotional eating and stuff, which is what got you into the position to begin with. And see, this is the thing, people don't realize that, and that's why there's such a high failure rate. Whereas there should be like no failure rate, right? But there's a high failure rate, and that's why, because people think that it did it for them. They got the sleeve or they got the gastric bypass or whatever, and now boom, it's just going to magically happen for them. And that's not how it works. It's only going to work if you work it. And there's a whole bunch of other parts that you've got to work for it to
That's
work.
part that's true partially, but like I said, she had it for 3 years now, and it's hard for her to eat. It's not like she's not trying to, it's not like she's not trying to eat. She can't eat. Like when she goes, she take a couple of like spoonfuls and she can't eat anymore because
Hmm.
whatever they did to her stomach is making her not be able to eat. But she doesn't walk, she doesn't move around, she doesn't do anything, and the weight is coming down. Like I said, it's been 3 years and she don't exercise or anything. The other woman I know who got it, same thing. She told me she don't work out. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that BBL, the Brazilian butt lift.
No,
That
No, no,
I
no,
heard
no.
you.
I'm not. No.
But she's talking about. I guarantee, if your aunt took off that thing, she's wearing that as a clutch and everything, instead of her, using it as a temporary procedure, and then she has to continue the journey on her own without it. She's using it as a clutch, so much. That's why she's wearing it for so long the way she is. It's a
Right.
Well, another
She
problem
can't
is
take it
that,
out. It's in there. You can't take that out. It's whatever the doctor. It's the operation.
no,
but
you
see,
can't take it out. But here's the thing: what can happen, and what people don't realize. So the reason why you need to work out and you need to actually be eating, like, you have to be consulting with nutritionists and stuff, and people don't do
Mhm.
things properly. And again, because they think it's just everything's going to automatically just happen. That's not the way it works. So you're going to start losing. Sure, you're going to lose fat at first, but then you're going to start losing muscle mass because you're not
Yeah.
working out, you're not eating
Mhm.
your high levels of protein, and so on and so forth. And then you become weaker and weaker, more and more in pain, right? Your body has less resources to try to commit to things like digestion. So see, this is the thing. It's like, on once your aunt's getting thinner and thinner because, yeah, she can only eat this small amount, and because she probably isn't trying to binge or emotionally eat again, right? But is she getting healthier and healthier,
No, and
right?
that's what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Her skin is hanging. Like she needs to work out to tone it up because her skin is hanging, but she is losing the weight without exercising. But as
But
far as toning up, she has to
she's
tone
too,
up, but she's not
yes,
doing
If
it.
she would have worked
That's what
out,
I was gonna get
her
at.
skin would at
unfortunately.
least shrinking down a little bit. Everything, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know there's some stories of why some people afraid to lose weight because of that hanging skin, but there's certain things
No,
you could do to, first of all, you need to drink a lot of water and stuff like that to make your skin more elastic the way it's supposed to. Yeah, so when you lose the weight, it'll
Sorry, Dre,
shrink
you're
down
up next.
and stuff.
unfortunately, a woman, if your auntie, I think Melody said, is of Gabby Sinebe's size, the body's too far gone. The weight can be lost, yes. However, the skin, you can't work out to re unelasticate that
Tighten it,
skin.
yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
There needs to
yeah. So
be.
how does the
Surgery.
She'll have to
skin?
get the
Surgery.
skin.
She got to get a skin tighten surgery.
She'll have to get the skin.
Yeah, I don't
She'll
know.
have
I
to get
just
the
know it's
skin.
skin.
She'll have to basically get the skin chopped off if she really is insecure about once obviously the process is done. Gastric bands, what they do is the best way I can describe it is they basically cut your stomach in half. So they basically put that's the best way I can describe it. They basically put say your stomach and they put a sheet in your stomach and it kind of like cut it's say your stomach's a circle, just say you're looking at the stomach in a 2D form, and then they basically put a sheet in there. So it's only food. Your stomach can basically only fill up half or maybe a quarter. So I'm not sure if the process is when the weight's done, they take this thing back out, or it's in there for life. Because I would assume if once all the weight's dropped, if you're still only eating little bits, there's a possibility. Like I would assume, couldn't you die if you're not eating? If you're only eating little bits, eventually you're gonna. The body needs food. So
Yeah,
Yeah. So at first, what happens, right, is you're only on a liquid diet at first. You can't even eat solid foods. And then you eat jello, and then you eat, soft, kind of like think about like if you had like a stomach flu. And so you're kind of slowly building up your tolerance to keeping down solid food. And then you eat a little bit more, and you're kind of slowly stretching your stomach to a healthier size. It just comes down to, like you said, with, the rest of your skin once you get to a certain size, it's not clapping back. Well, people's stomachs get the same way. Where once you expand it to a certain size, there's no way it's going to just shrink back down to a normal human size. And so, unless you're, filling this massively over large stomach, you're always going to be hungry, which makes it, it's like you feel like you're always depriving yourself, you're always starving. So, this is why they put the sleeve on, and you're basically going to slowly over time make a new stomach. That's in essence what they're doing. So it's like a long process, but that's
Mm.
what they're doing.
yeah. Well, she could have had that done.
I
I
got
don't
Yeah, I
two
was
know.
gonna say
people
like nutrition
that
and
was
stuff.
like that.
You see a lot of people telling you some foods you can eat that make you feel like you're always full with small portions of it. Like eating a lot of watermelon, yeah, it'll fill you up. Some fruits and nuts and nutrition, it makes you fill up, but you ain't got to eat a lot. Like they say, you make a fish, you stay inside of your fish. That's how much portion of food you're supposed to be eating your plate. People overdo it more than it is because, like you were saying, yeah, like people are so much emotional eaters. So telling you, we can eat for different many reasons. I know I had a problem that in my past just eating because I was bored. Like I eat based on my feelings more than I was supposed to and stuff, and I had to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Let me eat just for the energy I need and stuff.
I
Not
had an aunt who had the band, the gastric band,
Mhm.
and like Mel said earlier, it is kind of a crutch because if you're not actively changing your lifestyle altogether, you can pop that band open and you can gain weight again, which is
Mm.
kind of what happened with one of my aunts. Now my mom, who at one point or another, she was about almost the same size as my aunt. She wasn't quite as big, but she was still pretty big for her frame. She lost the weight organically, and the weight has been off since she's lost it. And it did come off relatively quickly, and a lot of people actually did think she got the surgery. But my mom, she never had surgery. She just lost it organically because my mom never she's not an emotional eater. She never really ate and got big anyway. She gained weight, for different reasons. So once she got her lifestyle right and started eating right correctly, the weight fell off. Now she does not work out or anything like that, but the fact remains, this woman, and I honest to God, she started losing weight. I want to say after I left, after I went into high school, and she's kept that weight off since 2006. She's been the same exact weight since 2006. She has not gained or really lost any weight. She's been pretty much the same that entire time. So it's a mindset thing. If you get the right mindset, then obviously you can maintain whatever physique or whatever it is you're trying to achieve, or go a step further with that.
Okay, well, I'm going to show y'all this picture. I'll just explain this, and then I guess we should have final thoughts because we got past 3 hours. I didn't even realize it. Time
Yeah, look, I
flies.
was just about to say, Ruby.
Yeah,
Yes,
time
that's
flies,
fine.
y'all. But okay, let me explain
Yeah.
to y'all what this picture is. So this is actually to just illustrate the Dre Experience's point here. So this is actually a content creator on YouTube. His name is Obese to Beast. And so you can see in the before picture, he was massively morbidly obese. And like through childhood, high school, when he was young, he was very, very overweight, and tall dude, very, very overweight. And so he decided that he was going to lose weight naturally. And actually, it was a long journey for him. And then he ended up starting a YouTube channel about, losing weight. And so he lost a lot of weight. And he actually got into fitness, bodybuilding, lifting. Like now he's not into the competitions like he is in this picture, right? His muscles are really like big, but he's not like super, super lean. But if y'all look at him, he's in a muscle building competition. Y'all look at his body right now, and what you can see, right, are that he, even though he is super, super lean, he's probably got like 8, 7, 5, 2% body fat, but his skin is still hanging. Because ultimately, again, once you get to a certain size and you're a certain age, there's nothing you can do for that skin to clap back. The only thing you could do, right, if you keep losing fat and losing fat, your skin will get thinner and thinner, right? Like his did. You can see it's very, 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 very thin, but it's still hanging. It also hangs on his thighs and stuff like that and whatever. So the only way he'd be able to get rid of it is to do that surgery. And that's what it is. A lot of people don't realize that, I can lose weight eventually. I could lose weight later. Depends on how much bigger you let yourself get, unfortunately. The only option for some people. So I just wanted to show y'all that because, this man showed his journey for like, I think like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. It was a long time.
Yeah. That looks kind of creepy too. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about bodybuilders?
I mean, they're very unhealthy. I mean, everyone that I follow on YouTube that was in the bodybuilding competitions say that like to compete, like it's just as unhealthy, just in a different way. Just as unhealthy as being an overeater or anything else. It's a really toxic society. So like, I think it's cool to lift weights and to be fit in shape, follow fitness and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. Um, but I think the competitions are toxic.
Yeah, they are. I agree with you. That always creeps me out, and I feel bad because they work out, they try so hard, but it's just scary to me. Like, just look at them. I
Is
don't
there
know.
for both the men and women competition, bodybuilders or fitness
Oh, I'm
competition?
sorry. What you say? No.
Be for both the men and the women that's in those competitions.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
just creepy to me. Hmm.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's,
but
it's not sustainable. Like all of everyone who's in them that are on YouTube, whatever, so they talk about it. It's not sustainable for you to keep yourself. It's really unhealthy, even for men. It's very unhealthy for you to stay at such a low amount of body fat, and for your muscles to be that prime. Like it's not actually healthy for you to be this cut and this low body fat. It's just not.
right,
It's not
not at all.
sustainable. No.
It's really not.
Mm-mm.
But since we have one more person who joined, Chaos Rain, we're gonna start with you with final thoughts.
Hmm.
So you can be giving us your final thoughts
Well,
as your first thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, really, to be honest with you, the gastric bypass surgery, it was very ineffective. In regards to weight loss for everybody that spend the money. I've known or saw and asked very few women that got that. Even to the ones that have got it, that was broadcasted and had that procedure, within less than 2 years or something, they managed to gain back the weight. So it varies for each person when they go for that procedure. But it's proven evident that there's no real actual procedure is going to make you stay and lose the weight. It's always lifestyle when it comes down to the end of the day. And majority of Americans, unfortunately, we don't have good lifestyles, especially maintaining health and fitness. We
Right.
neglect that because we think it's not a priority. We hope that we go to our doctors, and when the doctors give us the bad news, the best thing they could do is fix us by going under the knife. And it's proven evident that it is fatal over time.
Hmm.
But it should make a lot of money off us getting sick, that's for sure, and being fat. They'll tell you they'll have all these fitness clubs, all this all around America, and they probably invest money in it now. But then they know most Americans either they're gonna spend money to get their bodies right. They won't do it. And even if you do it, you always gotta know saying you had to be disciplined on what you put in your stomach. Because we
Okay.
consume so much processed foods and overstarch and refined sugar and oils, especially I think they call hydroxy oil. Those oils are the one leading cause of the cancers and the heart problems. So you have to really examine what you're really cooking, what you put in your stomach first, and everything else starts to make its way. Especially if your mind's all flutter, because your what you put in your gut affects what you're thinking. So that's all.
Thank you, Chaos Rain. We
Thank you.
really appreciate you.
Hmm.
And how about you, Mel? What are your final thoughts?
Well, another thing I wanted to add also too, the most important part of weight loss journey is stress levels and sleep. That is an important part of you trying to get in fit and shape and healthy. We know Western world, especially those living in major cities, we don't get enough sleep and we have so much stress also too. That plays a part of our weight gain and our health and stuff. So you definitely got to manage your stress and try to get as much sleep as you can. Like I said, I mean, you want to try to be successful, get to the top. Was like one thing in our community. We hear from successful rich people, black rich people. They always emphasize of no sleep, no sleep, no sleep. People, non-black successful people, they mention time management. I don't hear them say no sleep. They know the importance of getting in good health that leads to wealth. And one of the things is managing your time. This time I want to do more work. This time I'm doing to myself. This time I'm learning new things. And this time I'm getting my 4 hours of sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep. That is
Hmm.
important. And
And
so
lots of water, Mel, right?
exactly, lots of water, and everything. Keep your body hydrated as much as possible, especially in the summertime. Also, as we about to hit now and everything. So drink lots of water. They say like drink a gallon of water at least, yeah, per day. That definitely helps out. So
Facts, Mel. Facts.
right.
Thank you so much for those final thoughts. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Good
You
night,
want
y'all.
to go first, Ruby, or me?
Yeah, okay, I'll go. Here's the thing. So, we talked about a lot of different things tonight, and I really hope that we were able to at least get you thinking about some things when it comes to the whole here my issue, and this is my issue in general with rhetoric and with movements, and this is why I don't jump into any of them and I don't follow any of them. And why it is that I have a balanced opinion that sometimes draws me low key hating stalkers. Um, because nothing is absolute, right? Human beings are not monoliths. I don't care if you share the same race, the same gender, same age, whatever. Human beings are not monoliths. And so, for the same reason that you can't criticize all human beings who share the same opinion because they're going to have, a million different reasons why they have that opinion. I don't think we can write people off. Like, you can say all you want that women don't date short guys, and yet what, there's a whole bunch of short guys who are out there married to tall beautiful women. So then it's starts sounding more like an excuse, right? I mean, and I'm going to be real with y'all. On one side, we've got the manosphere who, not all of the manosphere, but we'll say a lot of the guys in this space, right? They share a like mind that, overweight women is not for them. And that's cool, right? It's your choice. You do you. But you know what? I also hear a lot of women on the other side. Here's the thing, this interesting thing. There's a lot of women saying that they can't get a man because they're overweight and men are judgmental and men are misogynistic and men are this and men are that. And see, all these points always cut two ways. Here's the thing though, and this is my ultimate point, is that lots of overweight women, lots of massively overweight women are married, got engaged and married while being overweight. Lots of older women are getting engaged and married while being old, and some of them old and overweight, right? So then what is really the problem? Is it the fact that human beings are just this so monolithic and are writing off anything but youth and perfection? Or is it the fact that maybe there are some other factors that are literally taking you out of the game and out of the running? And I think that that's more so what it is. And every time we see these stories of someone who's winning, despite the fact that maybe they're too old, they're too short, they're too this, they're too that, it should illustrate that, oh, wait a minute, so you can be short and get a hot, sexy, young, attractive woman who will love you. Or, oh, you can be 39 and overweight or have two kids or whatever and still find a man who's going to love you. You can, right? There are other factors though, right? And I think that that is kind of like, the hope. If anyone's going to take hope from it, this is the hope that they should take, right? Is like, you're not getting written off because of your weight. You're not getting it written off because of your age. You're not getting written off because of any individual factor that makes you less than perfect. You're getting written off because, as a whole package, there are some too many of those kind of like defects, right? And those defects are not going to all be things like weight or looks or whatever. They're going to be personality. They're going to be your expectations. They're going to be the way your coping skills, the way you deal with disappointment, um, your standards, a whole bunch of different things, right? So, I guess my final thought ultimately is think about that. Think about that. For the people who looked at this and said, see, I told you I could be fat and old and get married still. Think about the fact that, you know what? There's a whole bunch of other things. We talked about them tonight. And that's really what this guy was going for. He didn't say, let me find a 39-year-old fat woman to marry. That's not what he said, right? He was looking for an appropriate wife who complimented him in all the right ways, who was all the right things that he needed. And the one he found just so happened to also be overweight and 39. So think about that. Think about that. Maybe change your expectations, maybe do a little bit of self-improvement, work on yourself. Because yeah, I agree with Trey. There is someone out there for everybody, but not everybody is for you. And it's not because they're haters and not because they're this and that. There's someone out there for everybody. All the people who don't want you, they're not it. Move on. That's it.
Well said, Ruby. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, my final thought is this: work out, take care of yourself. Um, there are people who like overweight men and women, but that don't mean you have to let yourself go just because there's somebody who would take you. You should work on being the best version of you. Forget about being the best version for somebody's fetish. If they want a fat woman or a fat man, don't settle to be that fat man or fat woman for that person. Why don't you settle to be the best version of yourself for somebody, for the majority of people? Because there's not a big majority of people who want an overweight man or woman. So just work out, eat right. Like Mel said, drink water, stay hydrated, and just take care of your health because life is too short. And that's all I have to say. And thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yes.
We really appreciate you. As usual, we love you all.
Of course.
And
Thank you so much for supporting us, y'all, as we keep working to give you guys prime content with a prime setup. Hopefully, you guys like the setup too. Hopefully,
Yes,
hopefully we're doing
hopefully
well.
you like it.
Hmm.
Hopefully you like the editing. Ruby does the thumbnails and everything. Right now she's the only one with a computer, so she shares the streams and whatever she does. I do appreciate you for that, Ruby. I think together we make a great team.
Yes, we do.
And thank you everybody for the super chats. We always
Yes,
appreciate the support,
so much.
right? And make sure you guys like the stream on your way out. I'm sorry, you was gonna say something, Ruby?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, honestly, I'm always so honored and like, oh look, the super chatty is like, yeah, I don't know, I find it like low key very exciting because it's like really cool and like you could be doing anything else with that $2 or $5 or whatever, but you're choosing to send us in a question or a comment or just to say, yo, thanks, this is cool, and I really appreciate that. It makes me feel a little bit low key like a rock star, so thank you for
Yeah,
that.
we are stars. We are stars, okay? We are live and upfront media. We
Yep.
are somebody, okay? And one day we're going to be huge. So
Yes, yes.
remember that.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Everybody hit the like button on the way out. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Um,
Yes.
all right. So,
All right. You gonna play the video on the way out? People got
yes.
time to say bye. All right.
Yes, you guys have a great night. See you on Saturday. Good night.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.